Great. Token.
Hey, I'm 60 you Russ Clark with you. It's Tuesday, 6:05. Phone line 928-344-5258. Those of you that are Rob Reiner. I just want to mention, yesterday we talked about him a little bit. He was found dead in his house with his wife, murdered. And um, and and before I got off air yesterday, there was, I guess, there was somebody that called and mentioned that his son Nick was was possibly the one that was involved in that. In fact, he was picked up at 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday. He's booked at 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and that's the way it's looking right now. Is that he's been accused? He's held without any bail. They started off at bail at $4 million, and then sometime during Monday it was revoked. So he has no bail options at all. So his son Nick, just horrific thing. The horrible thing to happen to that family. But apparently, was it 2 days before, they had a Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's house, and many people noticed he was acting strangely. He was got in an argument with his parents. The source at the party said he was freaking out, acting crazy, kept asking people if they were famous. So who knows what's going on with Nick? But it looks like they have him in custody and with no bail. And we know that Rob and I was a fan of his movies. I was politics, but his movies, it was just a very talented guy. 78 years old. I didn't even realize he was that old. I forget how old I am. I think that's the problem. I forget how old I am. And Rob Reiner, rest in peace, and pray his family's going to be okay and get through a tragedy that most of us couldn't even imagine, couldn't even think about. That's really terrible. Something else we got to think about is cold weather and snow. Yeah, we don't get exposed to it much, but we have a lot of snowbirds. We have a lot of people down here that understand what snow is and all that. And I spent a lot of my growing up and everything in snow country. I lived in North Dakota. Yeah, Kansas City, Delaware, some places that get snow, and had my opportunity to do the shoveling. And something that I always remember was, well, I even lived in Minot, North Dakota, but I remember, people would talk about the dangers of shoveling snow because people could get a heart attack. Well, and I'll read it, even though it's not necessarily going to be you, unless you're visiting and you're going back home. The article I read, are you too old to shovel snow? Well, of course, we automatically want to say, yeah, let someone else do it. But we hear about people getting having heart attacks and actually dying from shoveling snow. Well, they talk to some cardiologists and stuff, and it is a real deal. It is something to be careful of. And a Mayo Clinic study or review in 2025, they said just 10 minutes of heavy snow shoveling can push the heart rate to about 97% of its maximum rate. It's going to depend on conditioning. I mean, it's going to depend on so many things, but yeah, sure. Exposure to cold air is also found to increase blood pressure and reduce coronary flow. I didn't know that, but it makes sense that the cold weather is going to do that. So what they came up with, they said there isn't an official age on too old to shovel snow. But some cardiologists are saying if you're over 45, you should be cautious. Wow, that's a lot lower than I thought. But I guess they're looking at the statistics, and but cautious means you should exercise more. Yeah, yeah. But above the age of mid 40 and 40, mid 40s and above, they tend to be a little more cautious. particularly people that are less active without regular exercise, and I think that's most, myself included, most of the time. I exercise now, but that wasn't always the case. Um, Kavanaugh, Dr. Kavanaugh, it's Sobit, Dr. Kavanaugh Sobit. She's an international or interventional, I'm sorry, interventional cardiologist in New York. Said currently people who are above the age of 65 and do have and they have a risk for factors like heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, diabetes, sedentary lifestyle. Very, very, very cautious about shoveling snow. Just for those of you that go home, be careful. We want you back. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air. Good morning.
Rob Reiner said it best. He goes, if I was an Oscar-winning director, when I die, they're going to say that Meathead died.
Did they? I didn't read that headline, but I bet it's out there.
But it's out there. The thing is that James Woods wrote a really great thing about this. And, you know, when people celebrated Charlie Kirk dying.
Wow, that was terrible.
And it was, now we have the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, Rob Reiner was killed by his son. And the thing is that you won't hear from the conservatives other than to say that we didn't agree with him. God, he made some good movies. Harry Met Sally, The Sure Thing, a number of, Stand By Me. But the thing is that when you look up at the whole thing and I, this last weekend, I ended up writing romantic comedies again, and because I think that everybody needs to go back into a theater and fall in love for a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, and basically laugh again.
Oh, yeah, they don't make enough movies like that. I'm sure they make them, but I don't know.
Anyway, here's the deal. James Woods and a number of other people and everything else, we all looked up. And I remember when Rob Reiner was on, the English guy. And he said, what was your thought about when Charlie Kirk died? He goes, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Because you can't have this happen.
Yeah.
I don't care what you mean about the whole thing and everything else, but one of the biggest things is when you remember when we burned Beverly Hills to the ground after Charlie died?
No, Beverly Hills got burned before that, but it didn't happen. There was no riots. There was nothing.
No, but the thing is that we lick our wounds and we sit there and we look up and go, one of us is how do I put this better than anything that what's his name said the other day? We are that left today because that person is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, he's quite a talent. But
okay, well, anyway, I'm going to get off the phone.
Take care.
That's the thought that I have for today is that please, right before you're going into the Christmas season, everybody hug somebody. That's it.
All right, buddy. Take care, man. Bye-bye. As Mr. George, our Washington bureau chief. There was one person that's getting chewed up for not being nice about Rob Reiner passing. And I thought it was a serious slight or anything, or anything like that. But Donald Trump, our president, he said, I thought he was very bad for our country. That was his comment. I thought he was very bad. Now, keep in mind, Rob Reiner regularly called him a Nazi and all that kind of stuff. He bought into the whole Russiagate and the whole bit. And Rob Reiner was a huge, aggressive critic of Donald Trump, and and Donald Trump didn't go overboard like all the lefties did on Charlie Kirk by any means, but he just said he thought he was bad for the country. So I guess he doubled down on it a little bit. Someone were asking him, and he put on, I think it was on Truth Social. He said he had incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. I guess that's it. He didn't celebrate his death or anything. He just said I wasn't a fan. And he's getting beat up in some areas like that, and I understand. Rob Reiner was a human being, and he deserves our thoughts and prayers, and praying for his family and all that have to endure this horrific event, regardless of who he was. Which is he's brilliantly talented, is who he was. Still meathead, and that's funny. That's exactly hilarious. That's how he got known to everyone. Was all in the family, known as Meathead, and then went on to become very successful in the directing. Getting back to shoveling snow, which I don't recommend. They talk about the impact of snow removal concerning those with existing cardiovascular risk and heart disease, heart attack, or stroke. People with the characteristics of those who have bypass surgery, coronary angioplasty, simply should not be shoveling snow in any conditions. And this is coming from some cardiologists. Typically sedentary and set in a computer most of the day with little or no exercise, and twice a year they go out to shovel a driveway after heavy snowfall, and that unexpected exertion can unfortunately lead to tragedy. But I think that's the nature of some guys too. I mean, we're men. We do that. We shovel snow, and even if we're in our 60s, we in bad health, we our mind puts us at a younger age, and we remember how, and don't always listen, I guess. Now I'm 68, and now I do take care of myself. Now I do have a heart condition called AFib, atrial fibrillation, which I have an appointment tomorrow to see the cardiologist to see, what's that doing. It hasn't stopped me from doing a lot yet. Don't want it to. I'm still in the gym 4 days a week, and still riding my bicycle and all that. But I have to watch things more closely, is all. Heart rate and all. But I plan on staying healthy, and hopefully the AFib, we can work that out to where it's not as not a concern. But tomorrow will tell me a lot on where we need to go with that. But take care of yourself out there, and because guys want to grab and go. But I've noticed something, and even though I'm in better shape than I probably was in my 40s, and I work around shops and all that stuff, still, even though, and I'm around younger mechanics and techs, and if there's something to pick up, and I go pick up a couple batteries or something, the guys still jump in and say, "Let me get that for you, Mr. Clark." And I'm completely good with it. It's a sign of respect. It's a sign of concern and all that. I think I'm in better shape than most of the guys that take it away from me. I tell you the truth, but I understand it, and we need to be more like that and make sure that we take care of some of these people that do have some cardio problems and have some issues, and don't let them push it back, because guys will. Guys still feel that need to outdo, to be strong, to do those things. I understand it. I get it. But we need to make sure they don't exert themselves into a problem of that's going to cause a health crisis. Also, the cold, and I didn't realize that the cold accounts for nearly twice as many cardiovascular deaths as heat exposure. See, there you go. That's why we live in Yuma. It's we could get hot, but it's twice as bad for getting cold. Deaths from heat exposure, which I didn't know that. Of course, this article keeps going about the risk. The risk is very, very, very high. Don't do that. And sudden rise in blood pressure. And that has to do with a lot of the cold and the stress in yourself. Of course, there's a lot of things around the house we can stress ourselves on too. So be careful. Pace yourself. And lifting heavy weights, heavy lifting pushes the heart rate up. Just know that. And it says using an automated snowblower can still raise the heart up to 120 beats per minute, which is not a bad deal for most anybody, compared to 170. Now that could be way past for someone 65, which I'm at. My heart rate should be 150, 160, somewhere in that range. Yeah, you're pushing it. You're getting yourself in trouble. If you do start to experience warning signs such as chest pain, shortness of breath, a racing heart, or palpitations, these should not be ignored. And yes, I've known people that do ignore that. And my father-in-law, former father-in-law, he had I think he was shoveling snow. He started having chest pain, so he laid down. That was not the right thing to do. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Russ. It's Ernie.
Good morning, Ernie.
Yeah, that's that AFib. You really got to watch that because a lot of times you don't even know your heart's racing.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I don't know. When I ride my bike, I keep a heart monitor on, and it goes to my cell phone, which is mounted on my bike, so that I can watch that. And of course, in the gym, I'm heart monitored, and it's a constant stream that goes to overhead TV, so even my trainer can see it.
Oh, that's good.
So we're watching it, and don't get me wrong. At times, and it's really weird that I'll be exercising. I get my heart rate up to like 130 or something, which is no big deal. Well, my maximum heart rate's 152. Get it up to 130, and then I finish a set of lifting or something, and I start to rest for a minute. The heart rate starts going up after I stop doing it, and sometimes it's hit 200 with me just sitting there.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to talk to the cardiologist tomorrow, and it doesn't stay there very long. I mean, it'll spike up to 200, and then 15, 20 seconds later, it starts coming right back down.
You got to be careful. You end up getting a stroke or something.
Reading on the AFib, it doesn't necessarily lead to stroke. I take blood thinners for it, which they make me do, blood thinners. And
I do the same thing.
But the heart attack isn't necessarily associated with AFib. I mean, it could be if you ran a marathon, I guess, or something. But keep an eye on it. You're right. Now, but do you have AFib, or you know somebody who does?
Well, my brother does, but I had a heart attack several years ago, but
okay.
I didn't even know I was having one. I had no symptoms or anything. It's just so you never know. You got to be careful. Keep an eye on these.
Right. And my cardiologist told me to keep exercising, keep doing it. That's the best thing I could do is exercise. So
I went to the doctor yesterday, and I said, "Well, are you exercising?" And I said, "I'm always outside moving, doing something.
Yeah,
plant, gardening, whatever.
Be careful with that because that'll keep you alive a lot longer."
I know.
It does.
I'll run out of my Social Security.
No, yeah, that's okay. Run out of it. We'll see what happens. All right. Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. I don't know if you can completely run out of Social Security. It's not supposed to be. But, it does. But do take care of yourself. Trump administration and Donald Trump particularly started a new government program, which I think is necessary. It's not a huge one. It's only 1,000 people, called Tech Force. And I think that the Doge deals really expose a lot of just they were not only looking for fraud and for waste and abuse and all that, but at looking at fixing the systems that were inadequate. I guess it surprised everybody what they come up with. I mean, the computers that don't talk to each other, the manual way of doing things, keeping things on paper. Researching is impossible across government agencies. They don't connect. They've got to call each other. It's just amazing how backward they are compared to for-profit business. For-profit business, they're not going to waste that kind of time. Let me take a phone call. You're on the air.
George. He can't help it.
He can't help it.
He just goes a lot. He can't help it. He just goes along everybody else.
All right. What's
I is so irritated by the overuse of the phrase and everything else.
And everything else.
And everything else. I mean, you're talking about people. He doesn't even say and everybody else. He says everybody else.
Everybody.
And it's so common. Glenn Beck is the biggest offender. Almost turn him off.
We'll call him. Let him know.
I can't get through. I don't got time. He's on the same time as you.
Oh, okay. Well, let him, ignore him then. Ignore him.
Yeah. He's back east of us, so his different time zone. But I prefer listening to you, and then I pick him up on the podcast later on.
Plus, you can call me and yell at me. It's okay. But I did stop by your business yesterday and said, look, you call me and disrupt my business. I'm coming in here.
I understand.
That's what you get.
That wasn't yesterday, though. That was Saturday.
Was that Saturday? No, okay.
Yeah, that was when you're on your way out to the memorial.
Oh, for the Reeves, laying the Reeves. Yeah. I left early. I said, well, I'm going to go by and just harass Mike, and he harasses me at my.
Yeah, but I only do it on the phone. You got my phone number. You can text me.
Oh, no, man. I come out much more in person, really? Man. You didn't even recognize me.
Your hat threw me off.
Yeah, it was a brand new hat. It was a birthday present from my wife when we were in Ireland.
There's a guy in Foothills Walmart that has a different color, I think, for each day of the week, matching shirt and hat.
Oh, really?
I think they're regulated on what color pants they wear, like Starbucks. I think it's got to be blue jeans or something. But he's this little leprechaun guy that wears that hat.
Yeah.
Bright, fluorescent colors half the time. And happy as a lark. And every time he says hi to me, I just grumble.
Oh, that's not good. See, for a minute I thought maybe it's OG or something. But no, but you said happy as a lark. OG is not always the happiest.
No.
He grows.
I think him happy is just normal for everybody else. I've yet to see him come across on the air as happy, but that's OG. He has this thing.
He does,
and we all love listening to him.
He researches. There's no question.
Yeah, and he's also got a lot of 1,000 years of life experience.
1,000 years, yeah, exactly.
Dude goes back a ways.
He does.
When they called Calvin Coolidge, it's because he was there.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But he'd like to a bit, maybe.
Yeah,
right.
He's good.
Go back to work. Go deliver some coffee.
I'm on my way to pick up some Dunkin'.
There you go. Have fun, man. Take care.
But hey, next time you come in, you got to look at another car. We do sell cars there.
Yeah. I don't even own one.
Well, there you go. We'll hook you up.
I don't need one.
Last guy you brought in with you didn't quite have the credit.
No, but I did try because he did have a need. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, man. Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, Mike sells cars. Well, I want to talk about the new tech force, but let me take a break first because it's already 6:30. We'll be right back.
We'll have another sunny day today, unseasonably mild temperatures with a high today of 81, 5 to 10 mile per hour north winds today, clear and 52 tonight, 80 and sunny tomorrow, 54 tomorrow night, 80 and partly cloudy on Thursday.
The Christmas Carol, a simple story that captures our images of Christmas. More in a moment.
Ed Whitehead's Tire Pro has been serving Arizona for over 20 years. Dune season is here, so ask about specialty tires for your toys. We also do alignments, brakes, oil changes, AC work, inspections, preventive maintenance, and more. Get your tires at any of our 4 Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros locations. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros wishes you all a happy holiday season. From our family to yours, and cheers to a safe and prosperous 2026. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Yeah, we got tires for that.
The Christmas Carol is an enduring classic, but for Charles Dickens, it was a story written out of necessity. Dickens had written the first part of a serial story that was poorly received by the critics. Frustrated and broke, Dickens walked the streets of London composing A Christmas Carol, the story of Scrooge and Tiny Tim that has become a holiday tradition.
Listen to KBLU from 8 to 9 every Monday morning to Life, Death, and the Law. Sean Garner and Adam Hansen discuss estate planning options. Learn how you can plan your estate using a will or trust to protect your family and secure your legacy. That's Life, Death, and the Law every Monday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 560 KBLU.
Life moves fast, and sometimes your mind needs a moment to catch up. At Onvita Health, we're making mental health care easier to reach because asking for help shouldn't feel like the hardest step. More psychiatrists, a new inpatient facility, intensive outpatient therapy. Because when care is within reach, brighter days are just ahead. Here's to better tomorrows. Here's to life. Learn more at onvitahealth.org/behavioral health.
Contest rules for all giveaways and contests on 560 KBLU can be found on the website, kbluam.com.
Since 1905, the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce has been the voice for business in Greater Yuma. Want to stay informed about Yuma's business community? The Chamber connects you with local leaders, business and marketing opportunities, and advocacy that ensures Yuma stays a great place for your business to grow and thrive. Serving all of Yuma and Yuma County, including the Kokopah and Kushan nations, the Chamber strengthens partnerships that move our region forward. Be part of Yuma's business network. Call Valeria or Ashley today at 928-782-2567.
There's a man in DC. AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark back with you. 6:32 on a Tuesday morning. The brand new. Let's see here. I lost my notes. Here they are. The brand new tech force. They're going to recruit 1,000 people. They're looking for early career technologists. Well, that's age discrimination. No, well, that's what they're looking for. They're going to pay a salary of $150,000 to $200,000 to go into this. It's going to be a 2-year service across various federal agencies. They're going to be looking to go into everything from Department of War, State Department, Homeland Security, Health and Human Services, and they're going to be working on AI implementation, software development, data modernization. Wow, do we need all of that? Doge really pointed that out on how bad that was. So they're looking for 1,000 early career technologists. I mean, people that don't have bad habits, I guess. They're going to be recruiting top tier technical talent because they want to accelerate the adoption of artificial intelligence at the federal level. And I guess they'll be looking for a younger workforce, or at least people that have been in the industry. I think 7 years, what they were looking at, 7. I thought I read that somewhere. But right now, 22% of the private sector workforce is made up of early career employees. In the government, it's 7%. Once these people end their 2-year term, I think if you're going into tech like that, there's not a lot of guys in their 60s that are doing that kind of work, I wouldn't think. But once you complete your 2 years, you can choose to remain in the government or pursue a career of opportunity somewhere. I like that whole idea of doing some time in the government and learning from it, helping and moving on, which would be great. Now, they've partnered with 25 leading technology companies to guide their modernization. Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Web Services, Google, Uber, Zoom, Adobe, Nvidia, Dell, Palantir. All of them too. I guess I don't know if that means they're going to be stealing from them, stealing some people for a couple of years, and maybe that'll be good for those businesses too to say, hey, go work a couple of years in the government. According to Scott Kapoor, he's a director of the U.S. Office of Personal Management (OPM). At the end of the program, we're also going to run a very, very comprehensive job fair with all those private companies coming to meet all these 1,000 engineers and give them the opportunity if they decide they want to go into the private sector. We're willing to demonstrate that people can come to the government, even for a short period of time, even for 2 years, do great work, and ultimately work will present tremendous career opportunities for them. Sounds like military. Yeah, you go in and do a 4-year and come out a better capable, ready to go to work kind of person. And that happens a lot. We're in a military town. We've seen that quite a bit, where a lot of people have done a couple of years, and it helps them focus. Then they get into the private sector, and they're more sought after, I think. Phone lines are open 928-344-5258. Let's take another phone call. You're on the air.
All right, now you rushed me off.
I did.
You distracted me and everything else.
I did. Yes.
I had a point.
What was your point, Mike?
George.
Okay, George.
He was talking about going back into movie theaters, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard about episodes? I guess that the first Star Wars episode 4, A New Hope. They're gonna release in movie theaters not next year. I think it's 2027, and it's going to be more true to the original theatrical release and not have any of the CGI or
good
other stuff in it that everybody hated. It's just going to be back to the original one.
Virtual production quality type stuff.
Correct. Without the fake animals and things, that just the ones that were in suits and whatnot, not the digital version. You and I were around back then to see that when it came out. We remember the long lines.
I remember it well. In fact, I did not wait in line. I didn't know anything about Star Wars. I was driving by the theater in downtown Dover, Delaware, and there seemed to be a little line left. And just before the movie started, and I said, "What's going on? Why is there so people in line? The movie should be starting." And so I went and got in the line, and we got like the last 2 seats in the house. Just got in. I was completely blown away. I had no expectations, didn't know what it was, and completely. It was just kind of amazing. I don't know, when was that? Like in the 70s.
77.
77? Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, 70s. And then we saw every Star Wars after that for a while on opening day.
Yep.
For quite a while. I gave up on it years ago. I mean, some of them just didn't.
Yeah. Well, 77, 27 is going to be the 50-year anniversary.
I can't believe I'm that old.
I'm right there with you. Just a couple of years younger.
Yeah, I was. God, what was I? I must have been about 19, 20 years old or something during the first one. Buddy, man. Yeah. Okay, I'll go watch it. Opening day. We're gonna be there.
I had to go across the Lake Washington from Bellevue into Seattle to get in the lines over there because it didn't make small theaters in the 4th largest city in Washington.
Wow.
When it first came out.
Well, they had no idea it was going to be such a hit. I don't think they knew.
No, I don't think they did.
Yeah, they did very shortly thereafter. They realized what they bumped into. 50 years later, and they're still a big deal. It's kind of amazing.
Everybody gets so upset and excited about the first 3 episodes that came out after the second 3, and I got no problem with that. A little green Yoda jumping around, having sword fights.
And Jar Jar Binks was a disaster.
He irritated me, but the movie was still good. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes, which were the second 3 released. But that and Lord of the Rings when those came out, I had to go get in line to see that.
Lord of the Rings was very good. But Jar Jar speaks a little like Jasmine Crockett. They sound about the same.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They may be related.
Maybe.
All right.
Thanks, man.
We'll drop off to Duncan.
All right, I'm gonna hang up on you again, though. All right, thanks.
All right. Bye.
That was Mr. Mike. Calling back. Phone lines are open. Okay, I'm gonna talk about older Americans again. Older Americans, I feel sorry for them, or because I am one. One of the two are true. Scammers, and we know they prey. Scammers prey on older population, and it's just horrible to take advantage of people like that. Oops, I lost the signal. Phone lines are open, 928-344-5258. But this article says they're draining the seniors' life savings at staggering rates. And some estimations go up to $81.5 billion in the past year. Now that's an estimate, and it seems exaggerated, but it makes a point. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air. Good morning.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
Good. I mean, your phone's cutting out, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. I was thinking back to what you were talking about with Star Wars. Me and my buddies went to go see it in late '77. I can't remember what month it came out. And you?
No.
Yeah, that's a stretch. I don't remember. No. But even then, it was planned for quite a while. Even then, the theaters were packed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It got a lot of attention right away. I mean, it took off. So yeah, it stayed packed.
Yeah. I'd say the first one is my favorite, and I actually liked the one with Jar Jar Binks.
You did?
Yeah. That's with young Anakin, right?
Yeah, he was Jar Jar Binks to me was horrible. That's okay.
Yeah, like you were saying, he might be related to the crocodile.
It came out May 25th, 1977.
Okay, well then we saw it in the summertime.
Yeah. So yeah, it kept playing, man. It stayed packed. I mean, so many people went to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I don't like you hit on. They didn't know they were going to have such a big hit.
No, they didn't know. No, it was a surprise. It was a big surprise hit.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies, and The Godfather's another one.
Wonderful movies. God, why do we have movies like that today? I mean, what do we have?
Because they don't know how to make them. All they do is do repeats, and they're no good.
Yeah.
They don't know how to make them. They're all these woke tons of guns.
I guess they've lost something, and they're trying to please everybody that pleases nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
can't do it
on them because they're the ones that are losing the money.
Yeah, we need another Blazing Saddles, man. That's what we need.
Exactly. If they wouldn't fly with the woke crowd.
Oh man. But I'd just like to see them explode. That'd be kind of fun. That'd be good.
Yeah. Oh, their heads will explode, Russ.
All right, take care, man. Bye-bye.
Okay, buddy. Take
Oh, Danny. Yeah, May came out. The fraud that's coming out for the FTC's got is warning people, and of course the Federal Trade Commission reports on some of this stuff, and they said they lost about $2.4 billion to scams in 2024 that we know about. So those are just the ones we know about. And of course, the estimates, because most people are too embarrassed to say anything. I've known people that have lost money in scams, and they don't report it. It's embarrassing. Some of them lost a lot of money, lost a lot of life savings. In fact, Devastating losses exceeding $100,000 are driving the surge of these scams, and I guess they're just getting more prolific. Because yeah, for 2020 it was in 600 million losses, and 24 it was at 2.4 billion. So it's become a real industry, especially with AI out there. And I'll talk about that. Let's take a phone call first. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ. How are we doing?
Well, Carl, be careful of the scams, man. You're old, so I want to make sure you're protected.
Well, that's what I'm saying. On my phone every day, I'll get anywhere between 20 and 30 spam or robocalls every day.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm really amazed how anybody could be stupid enough to give anybody their credit card number or their social security number over the phone. They do not have a clue who in the hell they're talking to.
It happens every day.
I know it does. Well, it has to. If I'm getting 20 or 30 robocalls every day, it must be working.
Yeah. Well, and you can put a block on that, and it filters out most of it. But there's always going to be the illegals that still get through. But.
Yeah. Oh, and like those illegal fishing boats going to Venezuela. How many of those now is President Trump knocked out of the water?
It's in the 20s, isn't it? That he's done.
And there's something like, was there 90 people killed in them?
87 or something. 87? Yeah, like close to 90. Yeah.
And who's bitching the most about those people being blasted out of the water? The Democrats?
Yes, but it's not as prolific as I would have thought. Most of them just look. Even the mainstream media just they don't spend a lot of time on it. They just let it go.
But how many that many boats that they shot out of the water? How many lives have they saved with that? And who is not? Somebody had to pay for all of that. So
yeah.
So that man right there, somebody's out of a lot of money. When you blow one of them boats up there, that much weight and fentanyl, that's got to be worth a lot of money.
Well, I just looked at the latest number. It's 25 known as of now, and there's 95 deaths at this point. So yeah. So somebody's losing a lot. And a lot of these boats now are going to Europe. I didn't know that. And they have a really big problem. And their authorities say they'd like to be more aggressive too. Send them. And they're even getting those little submarines going over there. Those little submersible boats. More like a submersible boat. It doesn't go very far under water, just under the surface. But they'd like to do more. But I guess their hands are tied. They can't. They're not ready to unleash it like Trump has. If we did, we'd get rid of these things pretty fast. If every country did that. Yeah.
And that's what I don't understand is why, and it's got to be goes back to the money.
There's a lot of money involved.
Yes.
These cartels are multi-billions of dollars. They rake it in. Yeah. And Catalina Grajova, I think she's up there messing with the ICE people because the ICE people are getting rid of her voters. That is a theory out there that they got to hang on to the illegal vote because they're going to do it again. From what I understand, they've had some Democrat meetings and they're convincing states to go ahead and do whatever you want, even though the federal government has outlawed illegal voting.
Yes.
But if you do it and the Dems win the election, the courts will never overthrow it. They know that.
Yes.
So break the laws all you want, and nobody's going to do anything.
That's right.
They know that. And so California is not going to do any checks, which is federally required, to make sure you're a citizen. They're not going to do ID checks or whatever. Vote early, vote often.
Yeah, well,
in California.
What happened in Yuma, Arizona, is we the people spent a lot of time putting David Laura in the recorder's office so we could check and make sure that there were legal elections going on. And the county supervisors took that away from him.
Well, you need to grab someone like Jonathan Lyons and pin his ears back and tell him what you think about it.
Well, we wrote Jonathan Lyons a letter, and we asked him, what was the reason for doing that?
Yeah. Did he answer?
Not yet.
All right, we'll get him to answer. I'll find him.
Well, and he used to have a phone. You call and talk to him.
Yeah.
Now you got to text him.
Oh.
So anyway,
he's that busy, huh?
Yeah, poor guy. I feel sorry for him working his tail off like that. So.
Jonathan Lyons does work his tail off. He does.
No, I have no problem with Jonathan Lyons. He does. He works hard.
Yeah, he does.
So,
yeah, we're very lucky to have him, and I'll support him in his reelection. And he just this year he just again is going to set as the vice chair for the supervisors, and Porches will be the chair, which is great. And no, I'm a big supporter of Jonathan Lyons. But he should be asked that question,
Another thing, and the reason he's working so hard is people got really silly and went and put all this solar on these tile roofs and stuff, created a lot of leaks in the roofs.
Okay.
So there's another problem right there, the solar on the roof. And I can't see anybody putting solar on the roof because it ruins the roof.
Well,
right.
I don't think it ruins the roof, but it does ruin the warranty. If it's done properly, if it's done properly, it's not going to hurt the roof. Problem is,
right.
You don't know. You don't know.
That on putting solar in Yuma, the best place to do it would be a carport over your driveway.
Yep.
It'll save your car and make electricity.
Yeah, put a porch on in the back of the house, and a porch on the front of the house, and put solar all over it.
Yep.
Yeah, then you're not going to mess with your roof.
Yeah, that you just not really. But you put the roof up there, and then people they put the real dark roofs up there, add 30 degrees to their attic, and then that darkness.
I thought that it would help it. I thought that it would give shade to that tile. And airflow better. I would think that it wouldn't make it hotter, it'd make it cooler, I would think.
But it's a lot of it's like a brick. And when the sun shines on it, that brick gets hot. And the darker it is, the hotter it gets.
Yeah, but it's not touching the roof. It's above the roof. And it's got airflow underneath it. I would think it would keep the roof cooler. I mean, I'm gonna have to test you on that. We'll get somebody to do attic temperatures before solar and after solar. And I would think it would go down. I don't know.
Well, no, okay, excuse me. The solar shading the roof, the temperature will go down.
Yeah.
But when the sun shines on that real dark roof, it creates an extra 30 degrees, and that extra 30 degrees goes into your attic.
Well, I know. I'm surprised because usually the solar panels are a couple inches above the roof, actually.
No, that's not a problem. The solar panels will shade the roof.
Oh, okay.
But when the sun is shining on the rest of the roof, it creates a lot of heat.
Oh, that does, yeah.
And that's the problem, and that gets in the attic.
Every day.
And the reason I know is I painted my roof with this elastomeric paint.
Right.
And it's a flat roof, so I can take my thermometer and check the temperatures.
Yeah.
And then I went to the people next door to me that just tiled their roof with dark roofing. And there's a 25 to 30 degree difference between that asphalt shingle and my roof.
I'll bet that I completely agree with. I'll bet that did cause a big difference. You put that white stuff up there and reflect it back. It just makes sense. So you pay less in air conditioning costs, electric costs for air conditioning, you tightwad.
Well, that's all right. When you're retired, and even mini splits in the house can knock my electric bill down 20%. And I put 4 mini splits in my house.
Yeah, and that way you can just cool the rooms you want. Don't have to cool the whole house.
Yeah, and another good one was solar hot water heaters. It saved quite a bit of money, but you spend all the money in maintenance keeping them running.
I said that was a big deal during Carter. That kind of faded and went away because
85. Yeah. The problem is the water had so much mineral in it that it plugged the solar systems up.
Yeah, it did, and a lot of people abandoned them.
Grass pumps.
Yeah, it did. All right, buddy. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. As of course, Carl. We'll take a break and be right back.
Well, it's all fun and games until you're stuck with bad internet. Not so much fun. Say goodbye to bad internet. Say hello to local support from a company that believes in better. Say goodbye to the spinning wheel of doom and the regular equipment rebooting. And say hello to a hassle-free experience. Say goodbye to the internet struggles of yesterday and say hello to a provider that picks our community and provides a product and service that's locally rooted right here in our hometown. Find out more at allofiber.com. That's allofiber.com.
Hey, you want to give the gift they'll actually use this holiday? Peace of mind? Give the people in your life something that will protect them. Go to BYRNA.com today. They are the world leader in less lethal personal defense. It's compact, it's concealable, it's powerful. The newest burner, compact, fits in a pocket, a purse, while delivering real stopping power for up to 60 feet away. I carry one every day. I recommend every family have a burner, every person have one. Now, it fires potent, kinetic, and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks for up to 40 minutes. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a background check. It ships right to your door. Burner gives both the gift giver and the recipient peace of mind, not just for the holidays, but all year round and for many years to come. Protect your loved ones. Safety is priceless. Visit BYRNA.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's BYRNA.com.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. I just got a few minutes before the top of the hour. It's almost 7 o'clock. I want to finish up on this FTC reporting of consumer fraud, particularly on the older adults, 60 years and over. I mentioned the $100,000 losses are devastating, and that's reality. In fact, the amount of older adults who have lost more than $100,000 in these kind of frauds are increasing more than fivefold from 2020 to 2024. And the large losses account for 68% of the total dollars lost by older Americans. It's coming in big chunks mostly. There's a lot of the little ones, but they make their big money on these $100,000 deals. I can't imagine the devastation and the embarrassment that comes with that, and to these older adults that a lot of them living on fixed incomes and they have some savings if they do, and have that wiped out. It's just terrible. The FTC says they're doing everything possible to protect and shut down the scams, but the scams are getting more and more sophisticated, particularly with artificial intelligence. And it's starting to get into social media. The social media has become a top pipeline now for scammers. Older adults now reporting losing more money to scams initiated on social media. Now they don't lose as much on social media as far as a dollar. The median loss on a social media scam is $2,210. No, I'm sorry. The median on a phone call is $2,210 compared to $650 on social media. For some reason, they're able to get more money if they can get to talk to you. Sweepstakes, lottery, government impersonation scams hit older Americans. And by government impersonation, they call up and they say that they're the sheriff's office and that there's a warrant out for your arrest because you didn't show up to jury duty. I don't know if you've heard that one. That's been running around you. Posing as FTC officials, they pose as banks, law enforcement, to pressure adults to quickly transfer in cash. It's got to be done today. Hang up. But they threaten jail time and all kinds of stuff. Scares people. And they go to Walmart and get a money order or a prepaid card or something. To avoid falling victim, AARP says that most fraud starts with 3 red flags: unexpected contact, a surge of emotion and sense of urgency. That's that's just clues like it's got to happen right away, and it's emotional. Your grandkid or something like that. And I've had some scams, I guess. Call me. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere. I say, well, come arrest me then. Here's where I'm at home. And that was a phone call that was supposedly.
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
There were jobs lost in October, but a bit of a rebound last month. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. We just got that, and the report just out, delayed by the long government shutdown. 64,000 jobs were created in November, a little better than expected.
We also had the unemployment rate tick up to 4.6%.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Custody, that rate's higher than predicted, the highest since 2021. The report also includes October hiring, which was negative 105,000 jobs lost. We also got a delayed shopping update showing the expected slight increase in retail sales for October did not happen. The numbers the same from September. The Brown University shooter is still on the loose. The FBI has a $50,000 reward trying to find the gunman who murdered 2 students at Wounded 9 on Saturday. They do have new footage they've made public.
These videos show their primary person of interest, a potential gunman near Brown University at 2 p.m. Saturday, just 2 hours before the shooting. The man is seen wearing a dark beanie, a surgical mask over his face, and a dark two-tone jacket. He's just walking almost casually. At one point, he stops, turns, and looks around with his arms behind his back.
Fox's Brian Gibbons said Brown. Nick Reiner expected in court in a few hours in Los Angeles to face charges in the murder of his parents. Actor and movie director Rob Reiner and his mother Michelle.
Nick Reiner, 32 years old, has a history of drug addiction, homelessness, and mental health issues. He had, in fact, made a movie called Being Charlie with his father directing it.
That's Fox's Jonathan Hunt. 8 more alleged narco-terrorists are dead, blown up, and 3 more boats said to be trafficking illegal drugs off the Venezuela coast. The next hour, senators will get a classified briefing from Secretary of State Marco Rubio and War Secretary Pete Hegseth, as many Democrats question the operation's legality.
And if Secretary Hegseth continues to conceal the truth, then what exactly is he trying to hide?
So then whatever Chuck Schumer. Americans listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion to B. Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the word micro. That's pound 250, micro. This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code PEX.
From the News 11's information desk, I'm Elena Guimera. The Yuma community came together to honor fallen service members this holiday season. A total of 744 wreaths were placed on every veteran's grave at Sunset Vista Cemetery in the Fortuna Foothills. Veterans and active duty service members also gathered to pay their respects. Each wreath was placed while the name of the fallen service member was read out loud, followed by a thank you for their service. Plus, the Salvation Army in Yuma needs your help reaching its goal in their largest annual fundraiser. This year is the 137th Rest Middle campaign, which raises money for the Salvation Army for the entire year. They raised a little over $77,000, but they're still short around $52,000. Christmas Eve is the last day of bell ringing, but families can still help to support through the end of the year by giving online on their website. Catch them on the TV set on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your latest local news, weather, and sports.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slow down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber.
There's a man in D.C. He's 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me.
AM 560 KBL, you, Russ Clark with you. Yeah, I got cut off in the last hour. It's all right. The computer takes it over. Yeah, that's what they do. I want to talk about Erica Kirk for a little bit. I've been totally amazed. And phone lines are open, 928-344-5258. How well she's held it together since the very public murder of her husband. But carrying on, and there was a problem she had with Candace Owens, once a friend and all that I guess was pushing conspiracy theories, is pushing all kinds of stuff out there that it gave her great reviews on YouTube, but was causing great pain to Erica, and things that Erica says just weren't factual. Well, they decided to meet, which was the right thing to do. Candace and then Erica met for 4.5 hours, according to Owens. 4.5 hours to discuss it. Erica says we had a very productive conversation with @real Candace O. More to come from both of us. Looking forward to AmFest this week. Time to get back to work. Owen says Erica and I had an extremely productive 4.5 hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. We agreed much more than I anticipated. Of course, we also disagreed on various points and people as well. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. Owen says, I will, of course, have a full rundown for you tomorrow as I'm currently exhausted. But I wanted to quickly let you guys know that absolutely nothing was held back, and the immediate result that tensions were thawed, which is good. And I don't know I like Candace Owens. I do. I've always liked her, but she's gotten out there on the fringes, and I just think it's unnecessary sometimes. And I haven't watched her, but apparently her ratings are huge, and people do watch her, pay attention to that. So it's good that her and Erica are on the same page, and maybe some of the stuff she's doing that Erica thinks is turning point and hurting her husband's situation with his assassination and everything are cleared up. Hope so. I talked about ghost ships yesterday or day before. When is today? Today's Tuesday. It must have been yesterday. And I was surprised at how many of them there are and how they get around. And ghost ships, in this case, we're talking about oil tankers. I mean, these things are huge. We used to have a lot of oil tankers off the coast in Delaware. During the 70s, and my family had a boat, and I'd take it out. And these oil tankers sitting out there very low in the water, full of oil, just waiting until the price went up. during the crunch in gas prices and everything, with long lines, gas shortages, and the tankers are sitting out there, just sitting, waiting until the price went up. But they're huge. They're amazingly big, and there's 1,000 of them out there that are just not certified, not licensed, not insured, not sanctioned, carrying illegal oil. And Trump got one of them called the Skipper the other day, which I think surprised a lot of people. Surprised me. I didn't know that was a thing you could do, but apparently you can. Any unlicensed vehicle like that in the open seas, according to international law or United Nations or something, can be picked up. I don't know why we haven't done that. These older ships are a potential hazard. I mean, they're not certified. They're probably not in good repair. They're older, and they're carrying thousands of barrels of oil, which would be a horrible spill if something like that happens. Benjamin Jensen, who heads the Future Lab at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, said this is going way beyond Venezuela. I do think it's time the United States and other countries start to address what really is a global problem. Seizure sends a shock not just to Caracas, but to other actors as well. What we don't know is how they're following that up behind the scenes, meaning the United States and others have a problem with it. Further seizures under Trump it is possible. Of course, that's just speculation. Venezuela's economy is tethered almost entirely to oil revenue, and so is Russia's. By the way, Russia's is tethered mostly to oil. Anything you do that puts pressure on their ability to bypass sanctions and trade in oil is a direct threat to the economy and, by extension, the regime. Carolyn Levitt said Thursday that the vessel is undergoing a forfeiture process. The skipper, that's the vessel that the United States took. And right now, the United States currently has a full investigative team on the ground on the vessel, and individuals on board the vessel are being interviewed, and any relevant evidence is being seized. The U.S. will take hold of the oil after the legal process is completed. Who knows how long that's going to take? Right now, China is the leading importer of that kind of oil. Iranian oil and Russian crude routed through these fleet of ghost ships that not only are not insured, not certified, they don't turn on their transponder. It's not called a transponder on the seas. It's called that in a plane, but it's essentially the same thing. In fact, they put out fake ones so that it looks like they're in a different part of the world than they really are. See, earlier this year, a 19-year-old crude oil tanker named Eventine seized by German authorities after the ship suffered engine failure in the Baltic Sea. And it was used to export Russian crude oil and other petroleum products. It was Panama-flagged vessel, previously named something else entirely, and it was carrying 99,000 tons or approximately $75 million worth of Russian oil. So I would think if countries start seizing these things, and take them, that it might hit off some global disasters of oil spills and those kind of things, and actually make these sanctions start working. The sanctions don't work. I mean, the sanctions were put on Russia to stop doing the war, stop funding the war with oil and all that, and it just doesn't have the effect it could have. I'm sure it has some effect, but it doesn't have the effect because there's go around. Go around is ghost ships and doing it at night and having willing countries to buy it. And those willing countries would be like China is one of them that they don't care about the sanctions. We're getting oil cheaper now. We'll just buy it from Russia at nighttime, and they do. I don't know where the end's going to be, but I'm kind of glad that Trump is doing it myself. I mean, it's only been one that they've taken possession of, but maybe this is the test one to see how well it goes through the courts and how that stuff works. And I'm sure it's some kind of international courts because it was done in international waters. Don't have any idea how that works. We'll have to pay attention and learn from it. Trump signs an order declaring illicit fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. It says it has national security risk. So it's now a WMD. I think it's fair. I think it's killed a lot. Now Trump has some numbers I haven't heard. Trump says today, I'm taking another step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding our country. With this historic executive order I'm signing today, we are formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction because that's what it is. The order asserts that the illicit fentanyl is closer to a chemical weapon than a narcotic. That is as little as 2 milligrams, almost an undetectable trace amount, equivalent to 10 to 15 grains of table salt, can be lethal. It states that hundreds of thousands of Americans have died from fentanyl overdoses and argues that the drug's production and distribution by organized criminal networks now constitute a significant national security threat. I can't disagree with any of that. It describes cartel operations responsible for supplying fentanyl in the United States as fueling lawlessness across Western hemispheres and helping finance assassinations, terrorist acts, and insurgencies abroad. I think that's all been documented. That's all very true. It also highlights that the two dominant cartels involved in fentanyl trafficking engage in armed conflict over territory, creating widespread violence that extends far beyond the drug crisis itself. It warns of potential for fentanyl to be weaponized, concentrated, large-scale terror attacks by hostile actors. A central justification for invoking WND authorities. As President of the United States, my highest duty is the defense of the country and its citizens. Accordingly, I hereby designate illicit fentanyl and its core precursor chemicals as weapons of mass destruction. Now, that precursor chemical, I think it all comes from China. I don't know that there's another distribution point, but I do know there was a barge that was taken that was filled with 55-gallon drums of this stuff. And I'm sure that was all taken off the market, but it was on its way to Mexico. Mexico cooks it, I guess. They get the precursor chemicals from China. Is China our friend? Are they? I don't think so. I think they smile and shake your hands, and but I don't know. They're stealing of ideas, a stealing of copyrights and patents, all those things, and spying on us, sending spy balloons over, filling us with fentanyl drugs. Yeah, you got to question that. Wanting to take Taiwan over, which they have other rational reasons, but it's the foundries, the computer chips. I mean, they have a big corner on the market themselves already, China, but Taiwan has a huge amount. Yes, we're building them in the United States rapidly now. We're building them in Arizona too. But that takes a long time to get those on board. I mean, like a decade. Although we're already there, we're getting to the point where there's production going on, but nowhere near to the point where we can say, well, we don't need to import them. We do. And Taiwan, if Taiwan's lost to China, we're in big trouble. The directive of this order outlines a broad interagency strategy to confront fentanyl trafficking using tools typically reserved for nuclear, chemical, and biological threats. It instructs the Justice Department, State Department, Treasury Department, Department of War, and the Department of Homeland Security to take appropriate action to eliminate the threat posed by illicit fentanyl and its precursor chemicals. Under Section 2, the order requires the Justice Department to immediately intensify investigations and prosecutions. The state and Treasury must target traffickers with sanctions and financial penalties, while the Department of War and Justice will determine whether military resources should support enforcement efforts. Sounds like they're serious. The precursor chemicals include standard provisions noting that implementation must comply with existing law, creates no legal rights, and it will be carried out using available appropriations. The Justice Department will cover the cost of publication as part of the order's implementation. Carolyn Leavitt, House Press Secretary, says, this is yet another action in President Trump's crackdown on fentanyl on behalf of every American who has lost a loved one to this deadly poison. Trump's comments on this says, no bomb does what this is doing. We're losing 200 to 300,000 people every year. I don't think the numbers support that. When he says losing them, he must not mean just in deaths. He must mean the ones that have lost everything they have, or go into rehab. It destroys their lives. I would assume. So we're officially designating fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. Now, we do lose 100,000 a year on overdoses. I mean, to death. We lose people to death. The rest of it must be people going to jail, people losing jobs, livelihoods, kids, all of those things. Probably is 200,000 to 300,000 if you look at all that without question. I mean, It's a massive problem in the country. I mean, police officers now and most schools all have Narcan. Narcan is a very expensive shot that can save a life for someone that's overdosing on fentanyl. It's just tremendously expensive, but somehow they're prolific now. They're everywhere, and a lot of lives have been saved. A lot of kids have been saved that have taken fentanyl, may have not known they were taking it or not known they were taking it, and sometimes it's laced in other things, and they don't know where that it's there. But thanks to the Narcan they've done. But it's a shame that we have to have Narcan. At one time it didn't have it in every police car, but now it's out there. We'll be right back.
'Tis the season for cozy nights, holiday movies, and full houses. So make sure your internet can keep up. Allo Fiber brings you lightning fast 100% fiber optic internet that doesn't slow down when everyone's home for the holidays. Check them out at allofiber.com.
Yeah, these politicians are driving me nuts.
So that's what's doing it.
What?
Stop scrolling, man. We're here for some Christmas cheer.
Hey, you know what's on my Christmas list? I'd like one Republican who is this sellout.
Okay, Merry Christmas. That's David Schweikert.
Schweikert?
Scottsdale congressman, hardcore conservative, running for governor.
Oh, sure, Schweikert. That guy's a fighter. Helped write and deliver Trump's tax cuts, right?
Bingo. Schweikert stood strong with Trump, and Schweikert's totally uncompromising on illegal immigration. 100%.
Hey, Schweikert must be solid because the libs have been attacking him like forever. They spent millions smearing the guy, and Schweikert wins anyway.
Plus, I'm pretty sure Schweikert knows Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Well, that settles it. I'm going with David Schweikert for governor, a real conservative.
Paid for by Win Arizona with 0% from out-of-state contributors. Not authorized by a candidate.
There's a man in DC.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. Tuesday morning, 7:22. Yeah, I just heard the Schweikert commercial. I guess I know he was running. I haven't spoken with him in a while. I like him. I don't think he's one of the two front runners, but that's why the commercial. I guess he wants to be. He wants to be out there. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. We're going to see a lot more activity, a lot more going on, and we'll see what happens with that. Phone lines are open, 928-344-5258. I have an article here that my fact checker sent me, which was a surprise. And the headline is Navy has 20,000 gaps at sea due to training backlog, past recruiting shortfall. I guess that was a surprise because we all know that once Trump was elected, and the news reflected it, recruiting standards, surpassed 100%. We started hitting 100% on all military. The military was in a big trouble under Biden, and it was not meeting the recruiting standards, wasn't meeting the recruiter quotas, and people were retiring early. Some people were getting kicked out for not taking the fentanyl shot, but a lot of people were leaving just due to the DEI programs and the trans programs, and some career people that were generational people were telling their kids that the military's not for you. That's all changed. I'll get back to that. Let me take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, Russell, what's going on?
How are you, Mr. Gilbert?
Well, I got some humor for you this morning.
I'm good with that.
Okay, good. Hey, does your shop have any blinker light fluid?
No, we're out of blinker light fluid.
Well, we need some blinker light fluid out here in Yuma, Arizona.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of people don't know how to turn them damn lights on.
Oh, they don't have. Oh, they don't have to turn on the blinker lights. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, apparently they turn the blinker lights on, the light's not blinking because they got no blinker lights to it.
It does happen, and Gilbert, I got to admit to you, I'm kind of guilty of it. And my nice, beautiful, wonderful wife Helen will mention that to me at times, and I don't 100% use that blinker light. And I do in traffic and stuff, but sometimes I skip it. I learned how to skip it in Denver, by the way, because if you use your blinker light in Denver, the guy behind you sped up to cut you off to make sure you couldn't get in front of him. There's a crazy thing about Denver. I didn't know they did that. In Florida, where I use my blinker all the time, people would slow down to let you in. In Denver, they speed up to crowd you out. How about that? Yeah.
I see that on the freeway.
That was just rude.
But-
Wonderful people in Denver. Terrible drivers.
Yeah, terrible team too. Hey, how about my Rams, huh?
How about what?
My Rams.
Oh, Iran. What's going on with them?
My LA Rams. Where?
Oh, LA Rams. I thought you said Iran. LA Rams. Did they win?
LA.
Did they win?
Yeah.
I had no idea, but they're a strong team. You knew they were a strong team.
Yeah. But anyway, I called you up because the other day, I'd probably say 20 vehicles don't use their signals.
And it's important to use them. It is, particularly in traffic. Give people an idea where you know. And I think we're a little nicer in human. You're not really going to get cut off if you use your signal here. You might have somebody even let you in.
Well, I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook about people cutting people off.
Yeah.
Here in Yuma. But I use my hand signals when I'm riding my bike.
Sure.
I put my hand signals up so the person behind me can see. Then I have my blinkers on, also my tail lights.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do that. I do both. I get their attention with my hand, then I have my blinkers on to make sure they see me. I think most riders should do that. Use your hand signal.
Yeah.
And your blinkers.
I do it on my little bicycle at times, if I'm around cars.
Well, you don't got blinkers in that thing, do you?
I do not. I do not. But normally people don't care about bikes. But if I'm out in the traffic, I'll use my hands.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to know if there's a shortage on blinker light fluid. We need to put some out there. Give some people gallons of water for it.
Yes, good suggestion. Thank you, man. Take care, Bob. Bye. As Mr. Gilbert complaining about blinkers, and I had a caller or a listener text me and said they don't know how to stop in front of a stop sign either. I have seen that. That can be a little dicey too. Not stopping. Stopping is a good thing if you have a stop sign. I started talking about the Navy having gaps due to training backlog and past recruiting shortfall, and we know the military's had an uptick in enlistments, and they've done well. Apparently, not well enough to overcome some of the shortfalls from prior years. They said that it's going to take 2 to 3 years, maybe, because of the delays, to get the pipeline full. And that's according to Stacy McCarroll, service spokesperson. So the majority of the gaps at sea are in the apprentice level, which covers E1 through E3. At the apprentice level, there are 16,369 gaps at sea, followed by 3,301 among journeyman sailors. That's E46, and 1,013 at the supervisor level, which includes sailors at ranks E7 and above. Which those are big numbers, 20,000. According to the Chief of Naval Personnel, Vice Admiral Richard Cheeseman, the number of gaps at sea are roughly the same as they were in April, but expects the gaps at sea to drop by 2,000 by the end of this year and by another 8,000 in 26. So I guess they're seeing an end to it. By the end of 26, will be 10,000 left as a gap, which half of it will be gone. Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, John Perryman, said bringing in 44,096 active duty enlisted sailors in fiscal year 25 will help. And that's a bunch of folks. As did bringing in 40,978 in fiscal year 24. So both of those years were good, 24 and 25. He says, I guess it's left over from when we weren't doing well, and it wasn't big news. I guess it was out there, it just wasn't big news. And recruiters have just done an eye-watering work here, and they deserve a significant amount of praise for that because of the only way I can fix these gaps I have at sea is bringing people into the Navy. And a number like 45,000 sailors goes a long way in helping me close those gaps. But he wants to keep in mind that we also lose 10% of sailors every year. And then that's normal, I would assume, retirement and people that get out after their enlistment and don't stay with it. There's no current delays in getting sailors through boot camp at Naval Station, Great Lakes, Illinois. The Navy does not see delays in A schools, and some training pipelines are longer than others. There are about 46,000 sailors currently in courses in the Navy's accession pipeline, and that's according to Jeffrey Sherwook. I don't know. Jeffrey, Vice Admiral. The Navy sends sailors to the fleet, helping to close operational gaps. There was an overall fill rate of 88.2% for Operation Sea Duty billets, but the goal is meeting 100% fill rate. The Navy's gains in recruiting, retaining, and training soldiers are about more than just volume. We are laser focused to fill, to get the right people in the right billet at the right time. There's still work to be done, and we continue to work with type commanders, billet resource sponsors to deliver talent to the fleet so the fleet can continue the Navy's 250-year legacy of protecting our nation. Good deal. I guess I was shocked to see that. I didn't know that I guess I assumed because they said the recruiting was up, our problems were fixed. Apparently not. Apparently we got more work to do. Phone lines are open 928-344-5258. Hey, AOC's doing pretty well. She's healthy. That's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I don't think she gets as many headlines as she used to. Jasmine Crockett's taken a lot of it. Of course, Jeffrey's taken a lot of it. You know, I don't know who gets the most headlines anymore on the Democrat side. Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, Jasmine Crockett. That's not Bernie Sanders. I don't hear much from him really on a regular basis. Of course, when they do a poll with the Democrats as far as who's going to be the presidential candidate for 2028, Harris is still the number one. Anybody else is number two. Shows you how deep their field is. Anybody else is number two. On the Republican side, anybody else comes in seventh. Much richer bench on the Republican side. But AOC's in the news. And it's more about her hypocrisies right now. You know, she's a firebrand, a socialist, loves Mandani and socialistic ideas and all that. Well, she just dropped $50,000 in Puerto Rico on luxury hotels and upscale dining and a venue rental. Yeah, $50,000 because she's a socialist. Well, and that's the point. That's why they bring it up. The musical artist was Bad Bunny. Now, Bad Bunny is the one that won't come to the United States. I think he's welcome if he wanted to come, but he doesn't think he's appreciated here. He's less than a desirable performer as far as I'm concerned. And he's supposed to be doing the Super Bowl performance for some reason. The Super Bowl picked him. NFL picked him up. And that's why Turning Point is doing an alternative Super Bowl, halftime show, which I'll tune into. I think I'll leave Bad Bunny alone. But Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez likes Bad Bunny. And now there's questions about her socialist persona. Is it branding, or is she really is she lying to us? Because she ran a whole campaign on no oligarchs, which are rich people. She fights the elitists all the time, is what she claims. She didn't like the elitists. Sean Spencer, who was a White House press secretary, said this is not new for her. She's a hypocrite. Remember the dress she wore to that famous MET gala where it said tax the rich? That wasn't exactly off the rack, if you will. It was a designer dress made for her. Yeah, I remember that dress. It was hugely expensive, thousands and thousands of dollars. But she wore a very rich designer dress to say tax the rich, I guess. Spencer also slammed other squad members too. He said these people know no bounds. They love to tell everyone what they should do about their carbon footprint, and then they fly private. They love to talk about the excesses of the rich, and then they benefit from it. They trade stocks, they get rich in Congress. I've pretty much had it with these guys. But at the end of the day, it's great they are being called out on it because hypocrisy knows no bounds. Yeah, AOC is being called out on it, but I don't think amongst her base, I think they ignore it. I don't know if the mainstream press has any kind of interest in doing it. I don't think so. Campaign finance report from the third quarter, and this is AOC. On that trip she took to Puerto Rico, where she's dancing to Bad Bunny, has box seats and all that. Well, the campaign finance report from the third quarter records campaign expenses for members of Congress between July 1st and September 30th. Well, it shows that AOC's campaign spent over $15,000 on 2 luxury hotels in San Juan. That's the trip, 2 luxury hotels, where Bad Bunny was holding his residency to. And that's a campaign expense. They have to claim that. They collect money for campaigns. They collect money from that to campaign, and they can spend it. It's pretty loose on what they spend it on. Travel and expenses, but travel to go see Bad Bunny, I don't know how it's a campaign expense, but that's what she's claiming. She also spent over $10,500 on meals and catering service, according to the filings. That's $25,000 right there of the $50,000. Matt Gorman is a political strategist. Said AOC wouldn't be a proper socialist if she wasn't irresponsibly spending someone else's money. Whether Mandani or her, these people claim to advocate for the working people, yet don't mind treating themselves to the spoils of other people's money. Probably a fair comment. Michael Carbonera, he's a Florida congressional hopeful, says AOC rails nonstop against the rich. It drops tens of thousands of campaign cash on luxury hotels, upscale catering, elite venues on a Puerto Rican trip. Socialism for you, first-class living for her. The hypocrisy writes itself. It does. I don't know if it's a negative amongst her base. I don't think it is. It's interesting. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna slow her down at the polls. We'll be right back.
We'll have another sunny day today, unseasonably mild temperatures with a high today of 81, 5 to 10 mile per hour north winds today, clear and 52 tonight, 80 and sunny tomorrow, 54 tomorrow night, 80 and partly cloudy on Thursday.
At Exceptional Community Hospital, we are redefining what emergency care should feel like. Fast, personal, and compassionate. Our experienced ER physicians and staff are here 24/7 to care for your unexpected illness or injury. Don't wait for emergency care when you can be seen in minutes. With short wait times, you'll get the prompt attention you need because every minute matters. And if your recovery takes longer, we provide the inpatient care you deserve. Exceptional Community Hospital. Compassionate care. Exceptional service.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. Phone lines open 928-344-5258. Ford Motor Company is going to record $19.5 billion in special charges. I guess that's expenses, special charges. Ford expects to record the $19.5 billion mostly during the fourth quarter. They just announced that Monday. The charges are related to restructuring of its business priorities and a pullback of all its electric vehicle investments, which is interesting. Electric vehicle pullback. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, Russ, how you doing?
Doing well, OG. Good morning.
Listen, you said there was no news really going on out there.
Yeah.
Mark Kelly is the news.
I don't disagree with you. I think you're right.
He is, and Andy Biggs, my God, he should be picking up on this. He should be out there camping. This is a gift handed to Andy Biggs in a gift box. I don't hear a word out of him.
Well, what would you want Andy to say about Mark Kelly?
Oh, he don't have to say nothing about him. All he needs to do is go out and say, Mark Kelly is the reason why we should repeal the 17th Amendment. Damn it.
Oh, the 17th.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And put the governors and the state legislators, since he's an Arizona representative now, I'm saying he should be an expert on this.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of aggravated with Andy Biggs. He's not going to be a good governor because I will be campaigning against him because of what he said, Arizona being a red state.
Yeah.
It's not. You got Hobbs as a governor, a Democrat, a sorry one on top of that. Then you got this Mark Kelly guy, and then you got Diego.
Yeah, Diego.
Yeah, he's a communist. I would say that out loud. Maybe he'll come and get me, take me up for a helicopter ride and pull my ass out. I don't know.
Well, Diego and Kelly are both running for president.
And Arizona will probably vote for him, including John McCain's wife, Cindy. Yeah. Yes.
You're not going to vote for them.
But she voted for Obama.
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah, she did.
She also, no, she said so. I heard her.
Yep.
And she campaigned for Biden. Yes, she did.
Yep, she did. Yep.
I don't know why you fly cover for the McCains. I don't understand it unless you really are a rhino, Russ.
Maybe I am, but I'm not going to. I mean, John McCain is dead. I'm not going to throw him under the bus. I think.
Well, I will because of what he did to us in Vietnam.
Well,
he was a Seabird guy. There's videos out there if they haven't taken them down.
I understand, but
well, that right there is treason. And he proved cover to cover that up so he could be an elected senator. See, the senators right now have no boss. Are you aware of that?
I don't know what you mean.
No one to recall them. When's the last time you ever heard of a senator being impeached?
I'm sure it's happened. I don't know. I don't know when it's happened.
Okay, they changed the election policy in 1913. Woodrow Wilson, another freaking communist Democrat. He was the one that illegally signed the illegally ratified 17th Amendment, and that changed it. See, popular vote. Before that, it was the legislature had to nominate some names and pass the names to the governor, and the governor picked one and appointed him to be a senator to go to Washington, and they called that house the Senate, the state house, not the chamber, Senate chambers. They called it the state house, and they represented each of the states. It's what it was in 1913. I'd like to see that come back, and I'd like to see Trump and Andy Biggs out there working on this. And I'm going to tell you, they would probably be a landslide in office. But you got to understand who they're working for. See, the Trilateral Commission is the one that went. This is Rockefeller's bunch now. That's his bunch, and you call it that it's a conspiracy. No, it's not. It's a Trilateral Commission. It's real. They picked Jimmy Carter, the communist peanut farmer, and I call it communism because I came from a ranch back in the 40s and the 50s. And my dad was trying to grow peanuts, and he was told by the federal government he couldn't sell them commercially because Georgia had that wrapped up. I know about how the communists have taken over agriculture. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, but most people that live in the city could care less as long as the supermarket is open. They can get the freaking lettuce or whatever they buy. But they need to pay attention though. If you look at I'm getting off subject here of the main thing, 17. But if you look at the U.S. grocery supplies, they still have a number of the mom and pop buildings standing. Oh, those are grocery stores, my friend. Those were in World War II. We couldn't survive without them grocery stores as a managed supply line for the civilian population. Don't you understand that?
Of course.
All right. So all we got to do if we have, and they're talking World War III stuff, if they have a World War III and their freeways are shut down, it just takes about 10 missiles. And Russia's got like 3,500 of them suckers that are intercontinental missiles that can hit us. And all we got to do is hit 50 freaking bridges or tunnels or 50 major cities and fire them all at once. We're done, dude. And that would, because Walmart's warehouse to their stores is in the trucks. You understand that, don't you?
No.
You go into Walmart, ask them a question, and on the product that they're out of, ask the clerk. Go to the management office. I've done this. I've walked the walk. When will this begin? They cannot tell you. Maybe it's on the next truck is what you'll get. Because their inventory is warehoused on trucks that's already on the freeway. Are you aware of that?
I don't. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, their inventories turn so fast. They probably have to be.
Look, go down to Bentonville, Arkansas. It's not big enough to supply everybody at the warehouse. But those trucks come directly from the vendors. You know, like Del Monte. You know, like Green Giant. Mm-hmm. That's where the trucks are loaded at. Noble Cisco. I know what corporatism is about, Russ. And I wish you'd get the game too, because corporatism is our enemy. The reason they're the enemy, we have 53.5 million foreign residents in this country with kids on welfare that is sabotaging our school system and our educational system. Their kids are doing it.
Oh, yeah, they're a problem.
And Biden put another layer on top of that, 21 million invaders that are right now running a gauntlet against ISIS, trying to deport remember, we had something like how many million visas that kind of Trump is reviewing? You remember that?
Oh, yeah. And Rubio's reviewing them, too. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Yes, because all the passports come under the Secretary of State.
Right.
But it's and prove it.
And a visa is a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you're getting in the game. Yes, sir. Yeah. And he can cancel. But right now, what they're doing right here, Mark Kelly is not in the chain of command. And what he did was he tried to create a military coup against the commander-in-chief. You understand that?
Sure. He was part of that seditious six.
He is trying to create a military coup, like a third world country, against the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
Damn it, he should be court-martialed. I'm telling you, I'm getting ragged out on Hicks too. Because Hicks just told us that on 1st of December, he's going to give us an answer from the Navy on December 10th. Remember that?
I do not, but okay.
But he said that. And now here we're talking about 14th.
Yeah.
And they're like ignoring it. And even you said there's not any news to be worth talking about. Pretty much you said that a while ago. Mark Kelly is the news. Because let me tell you something about the military. The military is not. It's not. The military isn't a campus debate. It's not. It's not a campus debate club.
Mm-hmm.
The military isn't Twitter. So you don't get on a Twitter and get criticized about it. It isn't. And the military isn't some activist playing games. That's not who they are. And it's just because the military, I tell you, their job, they have to act under pressure, and they have to have one commander, and it has to be clear cut. Mark Kelly should be brought up if it's in the USMJ, and maybe should review it, court-martial his sorry butt, and see how that flies. Just do it. I don't care if they convict him or not, but they impeached Trump twice. One of them really totally against the Constitution, and they run around saying he was impeached, but he was never convicted. I'm talking about Trump and the impeachment.
Yeah.
So let's process Kelly. Let's do some payback here, guys.
Well, I don't think the Mark Kelly thing's over.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well,
the guy that's running for governor, Andy Biggs, is not even talking about the guy. So it's going to take politicians that's running for office to push this agenda. If they're not pushing it, Trump's got to ignore it. He has to. Because it takes this all Republicans to keep the majority in 2026. Don't you understand that?
well, yeah. And I don't know if it's Biggs's place to do that, though. This is military. It's not political.
20 Republicans in the Senate voted with the Democrats. Did you see that?
Yeah. On which one was that? Healthcare. What did they do?
Healthcare.
Okay. Yeah.
Healthcare is a downfall in this country.
Yeah.
Listen, try going to just go to the hospital and tell them that you're self-insured and see what the hell happens to you.
That confuses them.
No, it's not. It's like in a bitch at the freaking hallway. They forget you. Because they cannot sell you that little 3-cent wooden tongue depressor for like $20 freaking dollars. They can't do that. Because people, that's insurance, $36 trillion is what the insurance industry is worth. And it's a freaking pyramid scheme, okay?
It's a terrible, terrible program. Obamacare is a disaster.
Then why is our state making this buy car insurance? Because we had a system set up. I remember the system very well because I'm old enough. I remember they gave you a blue SR-22 back in the day. If someone hit you and served wrong, the cop came and issued them a ticket. This is when tickets from cops meant something. Today they're just freaking water under the bridge. The cops are nothing no more because they did this to themselves. But back in the day, if a cop wrote you a ticket in traffic, that was your fault. And you had to sign this SR-22 form. If you didn't, and I submitted it, it wasn't signed, the state of Texas would then take away your registration, take away your title too, and take away your driver's license until you settled up with the guy that you damaged.
I'd like to see that come back myself. I'd like to see that.
They ain't coming back because your insurance monopolies are the ones that petition the freaking politicians, and they get a pay back with their hand up upside the backside, and that's what's keeping us illegal crap going, Russ.
Well, yeah, they just raise our rates. They could do that.
Biggs is not pushing freaking deals because somebody. I don't want to go out on a limb here. I want him to come on your show and say he's not paid by any lobbyist to keep his mouth shut. I just want to hear him say that.
Oh, okay.
Dude, but right now he's so quiet out there, not doing anything, not saying nothing against Mark. I haven't heard him say nothing about Mark Kelly, but he did say Arizona was a red state, and that's just a stupid freaking lie and bullshit.
Well, I think he's going on voter registration, obviously.
No. Don't assume. Let him say it. You were the one that asked him the question. Arizona red.
I did ask him.
And you said it's red, right?
I'll accept his answers. I asked him. I'm not going to guide him.
Well, then don't put something and change it like what John Roberts did when John Roberts changed the Obamacare bill to get it law. Remember what your buddy John McCain did? He gave it a thumbs down. That's why we still got it.
That's horrible. I'll ask him to clarify.
I'm just saying. But Andy Biggs, have him back on. I would love to talk to that guy. I really would.
I'll bring him on.
No, well, you didn't let me talk to him because I'm going to put him in the fire.
It might be interesting.
Politicians need to be answering up to the people. They need to serve the people and not just give us some freaking crappy answers.
Look, I agree with you, but he comes down and he meets with people. You can go meet him anytime and ask him anything you want.
Oh, I want him to give me his platform.
Okay.
Now, Mike Johnson wrote the 7 planks of the Republican Conservative Party. You knew that. Did you look it up?
Yes, I did.
Did you see what they did?
Yes.
Did you look at what they did? It's totally, it is alien from what the Democrats stand for, is it not?
Yes.
Then why are we not pushing the Republican Party's platform?
I think we are. But
no, we're not. No, we're not.
Okay.
Wait, no, you just said this morning there's no Democrat news. Yes, there is. These people we have 790 white people on population on the whole planet, and we got hit squads, exterminators. Robert McCarthy was one. Paul Potts was another one. Idi Amin was another exterminator of white people.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't go there.
No.
Well, Idi Amin is playing. They gave him refuge in France because of the Swiss bank accounts he's got.
Yeah.
Robert Mugabe, I think he's still alive somewhere. And then you got Nelson Mandela, which is a 30-year imprisoned communist convicted, trying to overthrow the government of South Africa. And you got the black people, 77% of them, men voted for the Marxist Kamala Harris, and you don't cover none of that.
I think it all gets covered. I don't.
No, you water it down is what you're doing right now.
Okay, that's you're entitled to that.
Black men voted for the communists. It's out there. It's the news. 5 people said it.
Well, 77% sounds about right. What?
And then Kamala had $1.something billion to run, and she wasted all of it, and even went in debt another plus $20 million is what they told us.
The Democrats going to put her back up again, by the way, in 28.
And Edward called in and said she got $1 million of it. That I already knew, but it wasn't newsworthy to me because they paid her.
Yeah.
Just like that $10 million that came from the Del Sol Transportation Depot. Where the hell did the money go?
They paid all of their celebrities. They do.
Yes, they did. But I'm talking about the Del Sol Hotel that you got. Where the hell did that $10 million go? And it came here about less than 2 years ago.
I'll give you a call. I'll tell you.
I hope so.
I'll give you a call today. All right, buddy.
And that's it on the radio work. That's what I want. I want the people to know what these crooks are doing.
I can't do that yet.
Because you're getting some money?
Oh, heck, I wish. No. I have no connection. Other than
anyway, I just want, and I just want to know where that $10 million went. I don't want it to disappear like a study group and bull crap. That's just watering it down and giving all our freaking buddies and our in-laws, giving them money. That's why we have a depressed dollar. The dollar is valued. I remember one of your politicians you were interviewing on your radio not too long ago. Oh, there's plenty of grant money. All you got to do is just sign it for it. Well, hell yeah. Because the people, when they go buy dozen eggs, it's $13 because the dollar is depressed and the debt is what knocks the dollar down, and it makes the people pay more for groceries, gas, and everything. And no one is informing the people. It's not their fault because you don't tell them nothing.
We talk about it, but yes, it does. It does all that.
Okay,
It does have
right
that effect.
now, I got a box full of cash. I do. Before 1969, I used to carry around like $5,000 and $10,000 bills.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Now they knocked it down to only $100 maximum. Took them all out of circulation. You know that in '69 they did this.
Oh yeah, I knew a lot of people used to keep those kinds of bills.
I used to walk around Germany with $5,000 bills in my pocket, in my shoe, and everything.
You could still,
I was a card player.
You can still use them, but it's hard to get.
No, well, you can't get them. You have to sign for them. Go to the bank and try to get one. Talk about what you know and know what you talk about. Go to the bank and tell them you want a $10,000 bill. They don't even have one there. They had to order it for you, and then you got to sign for it.
That's probably true. But
It is true. I've done it, Russ.
the one in circulations are still legal tender. It's just getting a hold of one. That's all. They don't make them anymore. Hey, I got to run, man. I'm out of time. I got to go, my friend.
But when Andrew is, you get him. I want to talk to him.
Take care, man. All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Since 1905, the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce has been the voice for business in Greater Yuma. Want to stay informed about Yuma's business community? The Chamber connects you with local leaders, business and marketing opportunities, and advocacy that ensures Yuma stays a great place for your business to grow and thrive. Serving all of Yuma and Yuma County, including the Kokopah and Quishan nations, the Chamber strengthens partnerships that move our region forward. Be part of Yuma's business network. Call Valeria or Ashley today at 928-782-2567.
The 8 Nights of Hanukkah, a Jewish holiday tradition. More in a moment.
Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros has been serving Arizona for over 20 years. Dune season is here, so ask about specialty tires for your toys. We also do alignments, brakes, oil changes, AC work, inspections, preventive maintenance, and more. Get your tires at any of our 4 Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros locations. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros wishes you all a happy holiday season. From our family to yours, and cheers to a safe and prosperous 2026. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Yeah, we got tires for that.
For Jews throughout the world, Hanukkah, the Feast of Lights, is celebrated over 8 nights, usually in the month of December. Each night, a candle is lit on the menorah, which is accompanied by a prayer, after which a small gift is given to each of the children. During Hanukkah, gifts are exchanged and contributions are made to the poor. Hanukkah, a
This
Jewish
is
holiday
News Talk
tradition.
560 KBLU, Yuma.
Call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
All senators are about to get a classified briefing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. On a military operation some Democrats think is illegal, targeting boats said to be trafficking illegal drugs off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and War Secretary Pete Hegseth will answer senators' questions in private the day after 3 more boats were blown out of the water.
U.S. Southern Command footage shows strikes targeting vessels in the Pacific Ocean. We're told the boats were engaged in narco trafficking and 8 people were killed. According to the military statement, the strikes targeted designated terrorist organizations. More than 20 boats have been hit in recent months in the Pacific and the Caribbean Sea, killing at least 95 alleged traffickers.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Nick Reiner may appear in court today in Los Angeles to face charges in the murder of his famous father, actor and movie director Rob Reiner, and his mom, Michelle. Fox's Jonathan Hunt reports from L.A. This is in focus.
An argument that apparently took place between Rob Reiner and his son Nick at a party on Saturday night at the home of Conan O'Brien. So what we don't know is the gap between that argument happening and the discovery of the bodies here on Sunday afternoon.
We just got a big economic report delayed by the government shutdown. Unemployment rate rose to 4.6%, the highest in 4 years.
Job creation was a little stronger than expected in November. There were 64,000 new jobs last month. However, there were 105,000 jobs lost in October. Revisions to August and September show 33,000 fewer jobs created than previously reported.
Fox's Jenny Casola. Vice President Vance might react to the numbers later today in a speech addressing affordability in Allentown, Pennsylvania, telling reporters before taking off from D.C.
We're going to talk about all the things we're trying to do to lower prices and make life more affordable for American families. We know people suffered a lot under the policies of the Biden administration.
America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion, B. Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the word micro. That's pound 250, micro.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too. Your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed for your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK.
From the News 11's information desk, I'm Susie Magdalena. The Yuma community came together to honor fallen service members this holiday season. A total of 744 wreaths were placed on every veteran's grave at Sunset Vista Cemetery in the Fortuna Foothills. Veterans and active duty service members also gathered to pay their respects. Each wreath was placed while the name of the fallen service member was read out loud, followed by a thank you for their service. Plus, the Salvation Army in Yuma needs your help reaching its goal in their largest annual fundraiser. This year is the 135th Breast Kettle Campaign, which raises money for the Salvation Army for the entire year. They raised a little over $77,000, but they're still short around $52,000. Christmas Eve is the last day of bell ringing, but families can still help and support through the end of the year by giving online on their website. Catch us on TV Set on News 11 every week at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your latest local news, weather, and sports.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. Phone lines are open, 928-344-5258. Yeah, I went and looked to see if I could buy a $500 bill, and you can. eBay's full of them. They're all out there, but it's all private collectors. You're not going to get one from a bank. And some of them are going for $2,000-$3,000. I mean, they're collectible. I got a note from my fact checker Edward. Says Democrats finally found the photo of evidence that Trump was on the island, and it shows him as a young man with 4 women with their faces blacked out, all with they all looked in their 60s or 70s, not young women. He says, this document, all these documents have been released on Epstein, and people screaming for it, and including grand jury evidence and all that, which is normally never released. Everything that comes out just exonerates him. But the Democrats, somebody took a photo of Trump when he was posing with the, I think, Miss America contest, which he owned at one time. He owned that program. And they blacked out the faces, and they said it was, proof he was on the island or something. It had nothing. It was a newspaper article or something about Miss America. It's just terrible. Oh, they're the Golden Girls. Okay. Democrats found the photo of evidence. I couldn't tell who they were because their faces were blacked out. The ladies are the Golden Girls, the TV show. They keep looking, and what they can't find, they make up. Unfortunately, they do. But you can buy a $500 bill or a $1,000 bill or whatever. They're not been in circulation since '69, but they're still available through collectors. You just pay a lot for it, and they're still legal tender. I guess if you took one to a bank, they'd give you $500 for it. They're not going to give you the market value. Yeah, they would not do that. I started talking about Ford. They're going to write off 19.5 billion special charges related to EV pullback, which I don't really know what the pullback is. In fact, in this article, and I think Chevy's the one that's doing away with the electric truck that they were doing. They just haven't done well. And I don't think that the Ford's done well with electric. I have a friend that has a Ford hybrid. I think it's still in the shop. It's been in the shop for many, many months now, and they've went in for a routine recall to upgrade electronics somehow. And somehow that tore up the transmission. They put a new engine. They put a bunch of new stuff in it, and it's still not working. They have a loaner car, but they can't. They're not getting it right. This hybrid they've got. They're not getting it right. Ford, the local Ford here, they've got it. They can't seem to fix it for some reason. They've probably put a whole new car in. They could have given her a new car probably cheaper, but as far as I know, it still goes on. They still haven't been able to fix that thing. Well, Ford said on Monday that its all-electric F-150 Lightning pickup will transition to an extended range EV or an ER EV that includes an electronic powertrain as well as a gas-powered generator. I guess a gas-powered generator can can recharge the electric battery, I would assume. And now it's plans to use battery plants in Kentucky and Michigan for new stationary energy. So they're not doing away with them. In fact, the automaker says it expects approximately 50% of its global volume by 2030. Now, keep in mind, that's less than 5 years. By 2030 will be hybrids. It's going to be half will be hybrids or fully electric vehicle or EREVs. It's going to grow that much in 40 years. I don't see how it's possible. It says it's 17% right now, and I'm shocked to hear that number. I didn't know it was that high. According to their CEO, Jim Farley, that Ford's restructuring plan that has taken on many different forms since he initially announced it as EV growth plan in 21. We evaluated the market and we made the call. Closing bell overtime on Monday. We're following customers to where the market is, not where the people thought it was going to be, but where it is today. And I don't really understand that. When I first read that, I thought, well, then they're scrapping the EVs? Well, that's not the case. I'm a little confused. They still got the F-150 truck, but they're going to put a gas generator on it. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Speaking of fleecing the public,
how are you?
How are you doing?
Good, man.
I have a question. If Ford can write off their losses over the EV policy,
yeah,
is the Constitution a contract between the people of the United States and the government? It's a contractual agreement between the people and the government to supply a service.
I've never heard it be called a contract, but okay. Yeah.
Well, I called it that the last time you agreed with me.
All right. Well,
anyway,
I've slept since then.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
If Ford can write off their losses,
yeah,
and expenditures, why can't the American public write on their taxes, write off that same thing for the misuse and expenditures on the EV policies that were enacted by our government?
I would assume because Ford Motor Company is probably using the normal accounting practices, standard accounting practices, and that doesn't work on the taxes. I mean, you have to use the standard accounting practices there too, and I don't think you make that swing. I mean, you can write off stuff in your taxes. You just got to use their rules. And I'm sure Ford has a lot of lawyers, a lot of stuff working on there. They're using the proper rules. You just got to stay within the guidelines, Ted.
What guidelines?
They're out there.
I don't have a government here in my house that can write up new policies whenever I need to fleece the public.
Yeah, they're out there. I mean, they write new policies all the time. You just got to get them to write one for you, Ted.
I was just asking if they could write off their losses because of failed policies. Why can't the taxpayer? We funded it.
Yeah, but we're removed from it, man. It's we funded it, and then we'll fund it again. But it doesn't work that way. They need us to fund it again, Ted.
Well, I need a fiduciary committee in the government that protects us, not them.
Yeah, we do that at the voting booth. So we got to find the right people. That's all.
Right. And you were discussing AOC. Look what we paid her along with the campaign money that came into her pocket while she was working on our dime.
Yeah.
Not her dime, our dime.
Yeah, she makes a salary. I don't even know what that is anymore. It's a couple hundred thousand.
She gets protective services.
Yeah.
She gets this. She gets. She's on our dime.
She doesn't get protective services like the president.
Yes,
They don't follow her around.
Not exactly.
But when she's
like
on
the
Capitol
president.
Hill, she'll probably in those buildings they're protected.
She gets funding for a private protection.
I don't
They
think
all do.
They all get funding, and they get to use it on what they want to. For staff, for office furniture, all that kind of stuff. They get a budget. Maybe they can use it for security. I don't know. And they can definitely use campaign funds for security. So and AOC is a master campaign fund accumulator. She's done very well with the social media. She's done very well reaching out. She collects a lot of money. So she can go on those expensive trips to Puerto Rico. And a lot of it gets, like in the story, a lot of it got written off right to campaign funds.
Yeah, I like the attire that she wears whenever she's going to be on camera at a campaign rally. Blue jeans and a cheap shirt.
Well, that's what
Give me
gets,
a break.
that's why she gets more money.
The optics of these retards.
Yeah.
They're retards. Retards.
Look, Ted, I think they're using the system for everything it's worth, and they're benefiting hugely. They're profiting hugely. That took a little bit of brain power, but it's evil. It's evil.
I know it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not good for them to live so lavishly when their promise is to work for us. And seeing Bad Bunny is not in the job description. I don't think it's gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's correct.
Yeah. But it's up to the people that give her the money, and it's up to the voters, and they may look at that and say, "Great, I want my socialist, representative to live like an oligarch." Maybe we'd have to get in the heads of some of the people that write the checks.
Oh, I don't know if that's possible. I think getting in her pocket would be much better. I think all representatives for the United States government should have to come into a negative account.
What do you mean?
And if they negative, like put a minus in front of all of each person, and when they do their job correctly and all that, minus starts going back to the plus side.
But see, that's all subjective. You can't do that.
Working for you
because what you think is the right job is totally different than what your Democrat neighbor thinks is the right job. You can't. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as right or wrong. It's all subjective.
I don't know if I've got any Democratic neighbors.
You haven't looked long enough. You haven't looked. I guarantee you, I could find one in your neighborhood. In fact, I've knocked on doors in your neighborhood, and I can tell you there's a lot of Democrats in there.
The doors are a-changing, my friend. I hope. All right, have a good day.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's Ted. And there's no rules. It's the rules are what they are. The Democrats take great advantage of it, but they're staying in the rules. What can you do? And I'm not talking about the ones that cheat and lie, just the ones that are in the rules. And I don't think, and AOC's story is interesting because of the hypocrisy, but I don't think there's any laws broken. At least none I saw from that story. The bit about Ford restructuring, and it says it's changing to go where the market is, not where the people thought it was going to be. Which I thought there would be more changes in that, or that they were going to get out of EVs, and they're not. They're saying it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. That they're going to be, half of their vehicles will be hybrids or fully electric vehicles in 4 or 5 years. I don't think that's what the people are. I think Farley missed it. That's not what the people are. The people aren't asking for that. That they want half the vehicles that fast. I mean, hybrids are great. Electric vehicles are great, but there's not that many people that want it right now. And they took away the $7,500 tax help to buy a vehicle if it's an EV. Farley says the last couple of months have been really clear to us. The very high-end EVs, the $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 vehicles just aren't selling. The changes are expected to provide a path to profitability for its Model E electric vehicle business by 2029, targeting annual improvements beginning in 2026. So I don't even know what the Model E is. It must be a low-end, entry-level type vehicle, not the 80,000, but that truck they've got, that F-150, I think that's $100,000, and they're keeping that. I think it was Chevy that's getting rid of their truck. It just nobody wanted it, or not enough. Anyway. Andrew Frick, he's the president of the Model E in Blue Business. These are big decisions that we have made and will pay off for years to come to our customers, our employees, American jobs, and manufacturing. Ford is following the customer. We are looking at the market as it is today, not just everyone predicted it was 5 years ago. I'm going to do more research and find out what this Model E is. It must be an entry-level position, but to say that the electric isn't the pathway. I look at Tesla, and here's some of the growth. Now, Tesla is an all-electric, which most of the companies, American companies selling all-electric do very little of those. They're not doing a lot of them. They do more hybrids, like the Prius that's been out for decades. But in 2016, Tesla started off, they sold 75,000 cars. That's it. 17, 103,000, 18, 244,000, 19, 267,000. And by the year 2020, 500,000 cars. 21, 935,000. 22, 1,313,000. 23, 1,808,000. 24, they took a little bit of a dive, just shy of that. It's at 1,789,000. This year, it's going to be flat again. Through quarter three, they're at 1,217,000. But anyway, the growth has been phenomenal, which means there's a need. There's people that want them. And just to put that in perspective, they sold about 1.8 million last year in cars. Toyota sold 10 million. Ford sold 4.5 million. GM sold 6 million. Mopar sold 5.5 million. The number one company is one that sold less than 2 million. Number one in profits. Tesla. And they've just been a phenomenon. So don't tell me that it's not what people want. It's just that it's not going to be 100% of the people. It's not. I don't know what is it, 15% or so, 10%. I mean, I'm talking about new cars maybe that are going to EVs, and it's not all Tesla anymore. Tesla's got competition now. They've got people selling alternatives to their electric car. But we all can't be electric, and I think they all know that. But I don't know what Ford's goal really is. I'll have to look at the Model E. I don't know what the Model E is. I haven't seen it. But I know the Mustang has never sold what they thought it would. The Mustang electric, and I wouldn't want one. No, I saw an engineer tear it down, and it's all was in it. It's a conglomeration of many companies that they pieced it all together out of that, and versus a ground up. And a Tesla, they make everything to fit specifically instead of trying to piece it together. And I think in the long run, the Teslas are going to hold value, unlike some of these other electric cars that were rushed together, put together, and didn't really go through the engineering that the Tesla went through. But they say they're going to make changes. I don't see what it is, but I'll be curious. I'll be here in 2030, and I'll tell you if they sold half their cars that were battery powered, either through a hybrid, which is a gas and a battery, or a full electric, or a pickup truck with a gas motor in it that just generates. That's an interesting idea. Get a gas generator in the back of your truck so that you can recharge your battery. Very nice. We'll be right back.
Well, another sunny day today, unseasonably mild temperatures with a high today of 81, 5 to 10 mile per hour north winds today, clear and 52 tonight, 80 and sunny tomorrow, 54 tomorrow night, 80 and partly cloudy on Thursday.
Unique individuals, empowering solutions.
Cost of landscape maintenance, supplies, and equipment, thousands of dollars. Time it takes to mow, trim shrubs, trash pickup, and sweep out the walkways, 6 hours. Having achieved human services maintain the business's property, priceless. Achieve Human Services, helping people with unique abilities realize their greatest potential through employment opportunities. For more information, call Achieve Human Services at 928-341-0335. That's 928-341-0335.
Human Services. Unique individuals, empowering solutions.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
Damn, 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with your phone line open. 928-344-5258. And I know there was something in here I want to talk about Mark Kelly a little bit. I know OG called, said it's done with Kelly. I don't think it is. Let me see. Pentagon launches a full command investigation into Mark Kelly over serious misconduct. That was just written yesterday. The Office of Secretary of War on Monday escalated its review of Senator Mark Kelly to a full command investigation. Investigation into Kelly for serious allegations of misconduct is intensified, and that's according to a Pentagon official. And that's it's going to the Department of War's Office of the General Counsel. The War Department official confirmed to Fox News that the Office of the Secretary of War is escalating the preliminary review of Captain Mark Kelly. Retired Captain Kelly is currently under investigation for serious allegations of misconduct. Further, official comment be limited to preserve the integrity of the means. So we're not going to hear it. Now, Kelly said it should send a shiver down the spine of every patriotic American, but the President and Secretary of Defense would abuse their power, come after me or anyone this way. It wasn't enough for Donald Trump to say I should be hanged, which he never did say that. He said anybody doing this kind of stuff should be hanged. Didn't use Kelly's name, by the way. It wasn't enough for Pete Hegseth to threaten me with a court-martial. Now they are threatening everything I fought and served for across 25 years in the U.S. Navy, all because I repeated something every service member is taught. So he's downplaying the seditious six, which that's fine. Tell it to the judge, Kelly. Tell it to the judge. Yeah, he's going to keep doing my job representing Arizona. If Trump and Hegseth think this will stop me from doing what I've done every day, see, all of a sudden he's a victim. Every day of my adult life fighting for this country, then we've got the wrong guy. Tomorrow and the next day, I will keep doing my job representing Arizona. I'm not happy with Kelly and what his representation is. You know, he was never a Kelly guy. I appreciate and thank him for his service. That's great. I mean, that's wonderful, the service and all that. But his politics, I think, you know, supporting Biden and all that nonsense of letting everybody into the border illegally, spending gone out of control, all the crap that Kelly stood for. No, I'm not a fan of him. And if he deserves a court-martial, that's fine. If it's made up, I wouldn't want to. But I don't think it is. I think it's legitimate, and it's legitimately a problem for him. I think he's got some troubles coming. But that'll be up to the courts and up to to whoever is handling that within the Pentagon. But it looks like Pete Hegseth turned it over to him. You know, he did some preliminary investigations, and he turned it over to the council. So unlike OG, I don't think it's done. But I don't blame OG for his skepticism. That's fine. Elon Omar's in the news. Yeah, she's kind of angry. And maybe that's rhetorical to say she's angry. I mean, she's a Democrat. You know, they seem to be angry a lot. I think that's just part of the stick. You got angry. That's how you You push, you motivate. I don't know. Well, she's angry over the concerns of whether she married her brother. Well, I think it's documented she married her brother, is it not? I mean, the marriage certificates are out there. They've been out there. She married her brother. Now, she was married to someone else when she married her brother. Not legally. I guess it was something that happened in Somalia or something. I don't know exactly how that was, but she said this article says she was born in Somalia, came to the United States in 1995 after her family was granted asylum. She became naturalized in 2000. In 2002, she entered a religious marriage, which I guess to the church. I don't know that that's legal, but she did with Ahmed Hersi. And then in 2009, she legally married Ahmed Ilmi, a British citizen, despite maintaining a religious union with Hersi and continued to have children with him, with her religious marriage guy, Ahmed Hersi. Omar and Ilmi separated in 2011. That's the second marriage, the British citizen, but did not legally divorce until 2017. And now she married political consultant Tim Minot. And I guess they're saying that the brother is the Ahmed Ilmi is the brother, I guess. Which, those are all records that exist. In addition to marriage fraud, according to Ted Cruz, he said Omar could be breaking Minnesota's state incest law, a felony in the state punishable by up to 10 years. Also indicated Omar could be liable for tax fraud, specifically if joint tax returns were filed while she was not legally married, a violation that could lead to a $100,000 fine up to 3 years in prison. And that's with her religious marriage, Ahmed Hersi. I don't know what happened with that. I guess they didn't have to have a divorce. They were never legally married. They were some kind of church union. But to be legally married in the United States, you need to go through the government. Get government papers. But Cruz says that she may have committed marriage fraud. Now she's upset about that. She calls Tom Homan, I guess, said last week the records and files related to Omar's potential immigration fraud were being pulled and looked at after President Donald Trump revived the years-old scandal amid an ongoing debate over the Somali Medicare fraud scandal taking place in Omar's state of Minnesota. Homan suggested that fraud likely took place. The crime statute of limitations could present a problem when it comes to prosecuting Omar for any potential violations. So reporters asked Omar, any response to what Homan is saying in the public? She says, I have no response because I don't know what they'll be investigating. So you don't think they would find anything? Absolutely not. She was asked, well, why do you think they keep bringing this up? Because they're sick. That's what she said, because they're sick. Ted Cruz says if allegations against Omar that she married her brother to enter the U.S. are true, she'd be breaking several laws. Well, we shall see. She's not comfortable with the conversation about marrying her brother. Or the fact that she was married to a guy that never legally married, but got a legal divorce from her brother so that she could marry her political consultant, who she pays very handsomely still with donations. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Oh, good morning, Russ. I just heard. You talking about corruption? I just heard recently that the news that Biden let in is now as high as 50 million people. So if that's true, you can add up $5,000 that you got on debit card, the stamps, healthcare, child, et cetera, and I really think that Scott Buckley, he should be charged for releasing all that money to these illegals. and recently to the UN, and the UN sent it to these all these NGOs where they distribute money to these people. So, I mean, that's an awful lot of money, and we got an increase on Social Security, $50. At least I did. But a lot of that money that Joe Biden let in, that went to these people, that's an awful lot of money. And I don't know how we're ever going to pay that back.
Oh, you can't pay it back. You can't. And it is a huge trend. The thing that they can do is stop the bleeding. And they've done that by closing off the border and by starting to get people out of the country. And that's like 2.5 million so far. But that's just a drop in the bucket. At that rate, it's going to take 20 years, right, to eliminate other people are here illegally, not citizens that have become citizens or productive parts of the community. But in the Somalian thing, because they're studying the Somalian crisis up in Minnesota, I think it's something like 80% of all Somalians in there are taking some form of welfare, some form of government aid. It's just kind of ridiculous. And that includes second generation, not just people just barely here, but there's a racket going on there. They know the system well enough to work around it and get cash from the government and live a much better lifestyle.
I mean, all those people that were vetted, people that are in charge of all that, they're the ones who need to get rounded up. And
including government officials that look the other way or set it up or let it happen, like Tim Walz. I hope he's not reelected. I hope the people of Minnesota, the good people of Minnesota, realize, they're going down a path of destruction by giving away the treasury to this group of immigrants.
Yeah, and I also heard that if when Trump's out, I mean, that whoever all these these criminals, they're just going to go hog wild.
Yeah. So I know there's investigations going on. Everything seems so slow, but look how much has been exposed this year. Has been huge. But in order to track it all down and to get through all of it, it's going to take some time. But I think they arrested like 87 people or something, but half of them have been convicted. And it really didn't hit the news until the last few weeks, but it's been going on for a little while. It's going to escalate.
Yeah, it's not even including all those people those people who were 150 years old receiving SSI and all those people that were dead and were getting,
Well, we saw that with SNAP when they said SNAP had 42 million people, which was a shocker to me. And then they realized that a lot of it were people that had passed. A lot of it were people that didn't exist. There's so much fraud in it. It's going to take a while to catch up, but we need to be less patient. And I think that's where Trump just started this tech force, where he's hiring 100,000 of AI type people. Yeah. Well, he's going to be working on those programs on that SNAP to identify crooks and thieves and all that kind of stuff.
It's just I was disappointed. I saw too much. I mean, it's just too much corruption.
It's beyond belief, and it's escalated over the last few decades. Obama put it on steroids, the NGOs and stuff. And
it's not even. Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's Biden, Obama, and it goes on and on.
It does. And believe me, it still exists even under Trump. Under Trump, the deep state is existing. Its wheels are turning, and it's doing stuff that he doesn't approve of. But it's a matter of finding it, legally shutting down. And he's got all these judges, these activist judges, and they are activists. I mean, apparently he just goes. The judges that have done all these orders against him, I can't remember the numbers. Like 80% of them come from five individuals. They just keep the Democrats just go back to the same judge. It's not random.
That's right. Like that one person who was Salvadoran, who was taken out of that prison. Now he's
walking. He's walking around.
Yeah, a judge released him.
Yeah, and it won't last forever. And if nothing else, the left have a tremendous amount of people in the system that know the system, and Trump doesn't have as many assets that know the system that well. His people are more loyal than they are seasoned. Because to get the seasoned ones, and this is Victor David Hansen that I was looking at the other day. To get the seasoned ones, you can't trust them because they're part of the deep state. And Trump went through that on his first 4 years. We ended up with people like Bill Barr, who was seasoned, great guy. But he had his foot in the deep state, and he just wasn't loyal.
Yeah, they tried to kill Donald Trump 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he tripped him up.
Yeah, the thing is that people, these people want to destroy our country, and it seems as though they want a socialist government.
Yeah.
They have no idea what they're. I mean, if they want to live in a socialist country like China, or maybe even Canada, with now they got assisted. They want to kill somebody. They want to kill people. If you're not, then you can just sign up for Asia.
But they don't want to live in a socialist country like China. They want to live in a socialist country like the United States because they think they can make socialism better, that we're richer, and they can live off the fat forever, and it'll never go away, and the rich people will keep getting taxed. But it's not true. They'll destroy it. They'll destroy it.
Yeah, it's not going to work because those socialist countries, if they turn this country into a socialist country, it's not going to work.
No, it won't, and it will become like every other socialist country, where you have the extreme haves and the extreme have-nots, and the middle class goes away.
So that seems as though that's what we want. But I heard that one lady, all of us, I just want to be fair, and hear people out. But as soon as she said, well, we want to make sure that we have support LGBTQ or whatever that is, transgender. I turned it off. I said, you know what? You're just another one of these people. Man. I mean, what do you want to support? Why do you want to support
that? That's not how she ran. She didn't run saying that every day. When she was running a campaign, she said populist ideas, not the negatives like that. She didn't say those things. The divisive ideas were gone. Once she got into office, then she goes and fights ICE. She shows up to ICE and claims to be, tear gas and stuff, which was a lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just gonna. If this keeps on, our country's just gonna, it's just gonna deteriorate. That's the only thing I can.
It will, but it's in the open now, and I think we've got enough good people that are going to say no to it and stand up, and that's a good thing. And it's a good thing that they put it out in the open and it's not hiding anymore. That we can see it, as disgusting as it is. It's good that we see it, and we know what the targets are.
Yeah, well, some people suspect there's a war coming, and that's the only way we're going to get out of this hole or whatever. I don't know. But hopefully not.
It's a Cold War, maybe. War of ideas, but it's more in the open now. It's aggressive, it's angry, and it's scary, just the same, because it's lawfare. It's putting people in jail. It's stupid stuff, and we need to put a stop to it.
Okay, Russ. Thank you so very much. Thank you for your show.
Thank you, sir. Take care, man. Bye bye. Let me take a break, and I'll be back. AM 560 KBOU.
Hear that? Forget the sleigh. This holiday season, Santa rides a Harley. The elves at Bobby's Territorial Harley-Davidson have been busy loading up the store and showroom with the perfect gifts for every rider or aspiring rider on your list. From genuine Harley-Davidson riding gear, casual clothes, gifts and collectibles, to the ultimate present, a shiny brand new bike. Don't settle for boring socks or ties this year. This holiday, give them Harley. Make their dream a reality. They've got the bikes, the gear, and everything else to make it happen. Visit Bobby's Territorial Harley-Davidson today, 2550 East Gila Ridge Road.
All right, do-it-yourselfer, you've got the idea, and you got your building supplies at Southwest Lumber.
That's right.
Now, all you need is a bunch of expensive tools to get the job done.
Oh, that's right.
And just the place to rent them. Southwest Lumber, your home for everything home improvement. Southwest Lumber has half-day to multiple-day rentals available on just about anything you need to finish the job. Rent equipment and tools on Saturday and Sunday. It's free. Stop in today at 1917 South Avenue B in Yuma. Southwest Lumber, ready for everything.
There's a man in D.C.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. We have about 15 minutes left. I want to talk about Obamacare a little bit. But after I take the phone call, you're on the air.
All right.
Good morning.
I know. There's a lot. But
Yeah.
you brought up socialism. It's kind of one of my pet peeves.
Okay.
Or pet hating things. And one thing that many Americans, possibly even yourself included, don't want to admit or realize is that Canada is no more socialist than the United States is. And the United States is no less socialist than Canada is. I'll take a breath and let you respond.
I think Canada's a little further down the path of socialism. We are particularly with the healthcare stuff, and the
What do you call Obamacare?
They have 100%. It's illegal to practice medicine in Canada. Did you know that? You cannot practice medicine in Canada. It's illegal. There's two countries in the world, North Korea and Canada. But you can only get health care from official government offices. That's it. That's why.
No private.
None. It's against the law. That's why they travel to America. The hospitals along the border up there are packed with Canadians. Because
Sure.
the
Ours are packed with Mexicans.
two different reasons. It's packed with Mexicans along the southern border because they come over to get free medical and all that stuff and to sneak into the country. Canadians come in with their passports and they pay for it because they just can't get it in Canada. But because if you go with a serious condition, and I've done stories on it, I've had people from Canadians that have talked about it on air. If you go in with a serious condition, they say, okay, you wait in line for an MRI, that'll be 6 months. Well, in 6 months, you'll be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they come to America, get the MRI, they take it back to Canada, and they say, look, I have this huge tumor in my eye. It's got to come out. They say, we don't accept foreign MRIs. I told you 6 months, and you're just going to have to wait. So they go back to America, get the surgery done, save their life, save their eye, and have them second mortgage on their house. That's socialized medicine.
Yes, socialized medicine.
Yes, that's socialized medicine. And also Canada, if you leave Canada and say, like, I want to go summer in Arizona, they force you to buy additional insurance for medical. You can't just fly home if something happens. You got to have additional medical insurance to come down here. And then they make it so expensive after you reach an age of like 65 or 70, I can't remember the age, that it's impossible. You just can't afford it. And they force you to do that. And then they limit your time out of America. If you spend too much time in a foreign country, you lose all your benefits. So I think they're way ahead of us in control, in socialism. And look at the truckers that went on strike. The government of Canada took their money out of their checking account. They bankrupted them. That we can't do here. We can't do that. It's not that much control.
Well, you seem to know Canada very well.
I don't. I just know some of these incidences that have been highlighted.
Okay. So now let's talk about Obamacare is not what socialized medicine is in Canada. I agree to that. But you've got the requirement. You've got, penalties if you don't join up. You've got...
what penalty? You got penalties if you don't get health care?
Tax-wise?
No. There's no penalty.
You sure about that?
We've probably got 30 million people that don't have health care.
No, you know what? I think President Trump did repeal that. He did away with it.
I didn't know we ever had one.
Yeah, we did.
But you can choose not to have health care in this country. I know tons of people that don't. I know people that don't have health care.
I gotcha. But there used to be a penalty, tax-wise.
I've known people that haven't had health care for 10 years, and I never knew of a penalty. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just never heard of it. And I don't think anybody ever paid a penalty that I know of. They just didn't tell anybody.
There's something you can do a little research on if you care to. You may not even why
Look,
bother? Because it's a moot point. It's
but
been
but I agree with you that
rebuilt.
Obamacare is an attempt to socialize medicine the whole way. I mean, that was the attempt. The attempt is to do away with competition. The attempt is to mandate this is the only way to go, and we're going to control the entire system. That was Obamacare, and it sucks. It's horrible, and it's so expensive, and it's driven the cost up for every American in this country. The cost of insurance is so much higher since Obamacare.
And the cost of medical care is, and the cost of prescription drugs are. All of those are related.
Because they never cared about the cost. The Democrats that put this thing in and that drove the thing never cared about the cost. In fact, the drug prices that Trump brought down when in his first term, Obama reversed them, let them go back.
How could Obama do that after?
Because it was
Trump's first term?
because it was done through executive order.
Because Obama was president before Trump's first.
I'm sorry, I meant Biden.
You meant Biden.
Biden, not Obama. Biden.
So Biden. And no, Obama's puppet.
Now, since Obamacare is failing dramatically, Obamacare doesn't work. The Congress under Biden said, "Well, we're just because of COVID is why. It's just because of COVID. And so what we're going to do is we're going to subsidize it. So even though Obamacare is very expensive, it's not going to cost you that much because we're going to give you this huge subsidy to take care of it. And it's going to expire. Don't worry, it'll expire because COVID's temporary. This will be temporary, and it'll expire in 2025, December. Well, now they're saying they want to keep the subsidy because now it's so outrageously expensive that we got to keep it subsidy forever. That was always the case. They were always wanting it to be forever. They always wanted it to be forever. And it would be just a tax burden to the whole United States. And what it does is it takes away competition. You're talking about a monopoly in insurance, and they can get away with about anything because there's no competitor that's going to come in and undercut them. And that needs to be gone. And Trump has the right idea of saying, well, we're not going to pay the money directly to the insurance company anymore that are doing Obamacare. We're just going to pay to the people and let them find their own insurance, pay for what you think is best, and start spurring on competition again.
Okay.
And start getting competition out.
All right, now let me get on to my point of the United States being semi-socialist.
Oh, now it's semi. Okay.
Yeah, I said no more socialist or no less socialist.
Okay.
But it is. There is things happening that even you will have to agree are socialist in nature. Like at 65, you're forced to join Medicare, whether you want that insurance or not. You're forced to. At Social Security itself, you're forced. Whether you're even if you're self-employed, you have to pay. It's not called Social Security, but you have to pay to contribute. You have to pay, or you're penalized. You have the prescription drugs. You have EBT, food stamps, whatever you want to call it. All of these programs are part of control and socialist in nature.
I agree that they are. I agree that they're not what we promised. What we were promised was opportunities for these, not mandates. Now, as far as Medicare mandate, it's not a Medicare mandate that you go. It's not. You don't have to. You cannot sign up for Medicare, and no one's going to come get you. You're fine.
There's no penalty. You're telling me?
Pardon me?
You're telling me there's no penalty?
Correct. Well, there's a penalty if you don't sign up, and then 10 years later you decide you want to. It'll be more expensive. But OG's never signed up for Medicare, and he's fine. I mean, you don't have to, but you'd be ridiculous not to because it's a great opportunity, and you paid into it for your whole working career. When you work in the United States, you're forced. I agree. It's a tax that you pay for Medicare and you pay for Social Security. It's a tax. Now, you get a great benefit for doing that. Once you turn 65, you can start collecting a forced savings account. It is a forced savings account. The way it was set up, it was supposed to be optional when it first came out. No one was going to be forced to do it. And of course, that changed. And it's everybody. It's socialistic in nature, probably, but you don't have to take Social Security. You could pay into it for many years and say, I don't want it.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. What is Mitt Romney get Social Security.
Sure.
You don't need it,
Uh,
but he paid into it, right?
he did,
Okay.
and Obama. I mean, OG paid into it. He doesn't collect it.
Yeah, well, OG, from what I have been able to pick up listening to him over the years, is independently wealthy. He
Well,
doesn't.
he's independent. I would say independently comfortable, but you don't have to take it, and that's a difference. But of course, I think it'd be foolish not to. You paid into it, take it. You paid into Medicare, take it. And Medicare doesn't cost you anything. It's the supplemental that costs you, and you don't have to take that either. You can just go with Medicare, but you would regret it.
This entire conversation has been based on healthcare, and I'm talking about. There's other things also. EBT they call it now, basically food stamps, and that was threatened or is still threatened. I'm not even current on where we're at with that, but that's just
they're threatening
handing out other people's money.
They're threatening the fraud right now to clean up the fraud. But yes, right?
Oh, more than that.
Okay.
They're threatening them. Anyways, you familiar with Milton Friedman?
Yes.
I think it was him that made the comment where you have 4 different ways. I'm getting back to my rule of 4 again. But you pay with your own money for what you need for yourself, or you pay with someone else's money for what you need for yourself because you can't afford it, or you pay, or someone else gets. I'm not even going to go all the way down on the path because I'm losing my train of thought. But the point is, there are steps, and I see many things that could be called socialistic in nature here in my beloved United States.
I don't disagree with that. There are so many things that are socialistic, and it's wrong. I mean, a lot of these things were set up as temporary safety nets and set up as temporary programs to get people on their feet. But where we fail is we don't train and work on getting out of it in most cases. Where a program that says, okay, you're on food stamps, going to be on there for the rest of your life, versus you're on food stamps, how can I help you get gainfully employed? And we don't do enough of that. But we do on some programs like housing assistance here in Yuma County. If you go into housing assistance, it's available. It's a safety net. And you have to prove that you're going to get GED, you're going to get educated, you're going to learn how to do resumes, you're going to start applying for jobs. And when you start earning money, you have to start paying a portion to that apartment that you're living in until eventually you move out. And those are good programs. Those are programs we should have, and that's the way they originally sold to us. But they become a socialistic program to where you can work part-time at Walmart and collect all these benefits and make the equivalent of $60,000, $70,000 a year. If you know how to tap into every one of them. And that's what's fortunate, because you can get rent help and you can get food stamps and you could get free medical and all that if you don't make enough. It's all available, and there's no limitation and there's no requirement to do better. And I've known people that have been stuck into that thing that don't want a promotion. They don't want to make more money because then I'd lose my benefits.
Oh, sure, yeah. And even in Social Security, until you reach a certain age, you're limited to the amount of income you can have outside of it and still collect your Social Security.
I'm 68 years old. I haven't taken any Social Security. I don't have to. And I won't until I'm forced.
72?
Yeah. At 72, you have to. Or you lose it. You start losing 10% a year or something. Yeah.
I'm 63. I could have been taking it for a year now if I wanted to.
And I'll eventually take it because I paid into it. It's mine. And I'll take it, but I figured, well, let the interest build up. Let it build up. I'm getting 8% interest a year by putting it off. And so when I turn 70, I know it's going to be a lot more than it was when I was 62.
Right.
And maybe I'll go take a junket to Puerto Rico and see Bad Bunny.
What's in Puerto Rico?
That's where AOC spent $50,000 in a little junket trip to go to Puerto Rico, and she charged it to her political account. You know,
Yeah.
I'll charge it to Social Security.
Burner entourage.
Yeah. You know, something else with Social Security. If I called them right now and I say, I want to start collecting Social Security, but I want to collect it as if I were 66 and a half or something, whatever my full payment would have been, they will pay me every month that I missed all that back. They'll pay me the whole thing and then continue going on into the future at that rate, at the 65 or 66 year rate, which I don't want to do, of course, but they would cut me a check, you know, for those months that I missed, you know, for how many months. And I think it'd be like $3,500 a month. They would just cut me a check for the 18 months that I lost, you know, that I hadn't collected.
No, it's your decision, your choice.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's my choice. Yeah.
Very good.
All right, man. I'm running out of time. You got to go away. We're not socialist yet, but you're not wrong. There's a lot of socialistic type programs that we need to break free of or find a solution to get people back into the workplace.
Very good. Well, I'm pulling into the Rahimi lot here. I'm going to go sell some cars.
Thank you, sir. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Mike, and I'll be back tomorrow because it's 9 o'clock, AM 560, KBOU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.